should be live any second.
I love Mario Brothers 3.
Hi, everybody.
What up?
Hey, are we working?
I think so.
All right. Is this thing
Yeah,
on?
getting my chat open. Hello.
All right, guys, welcome. Turn that down a tad. All right. Holy hell, that jacket. All right.
Yeah, right. I came prepared. You know, you can't host a home shopping network and not look the part, right?
It looks great. And by the way, you may notice that this is not Kelsey.
Though I am short and cute like Kelsey, I'm not Kelsey.
This is Business.
Hello.
Partnered streamer on Twitch. Streams how frequently?
When I feel like it.
Okay,
you know,
good.
streaming is one of those things. It is my full-time job, but I definitely feel it's one of those things that should be enjoyed. Because I'm very much an artist about it, and a dumb hippie, so.
He's going to share some awesome anecdotes with us and do a great job replacing Kelsey just for tonight. Don't worry, she'll be back next month. And if you're interested at all, check out his stream at twitch.tv/business. I'm sure somebody will post it in the chat. Thank you, Ilorn. All right, guys, let's get started. Welcome to Pink Gorilla Games in Seattle, Washington. We are a 14-year-old video game store. We have 2 locations, working on a 3rd this year.
Ooh.
And welcome to our store. We usually don't sell games online. It's really important to us that everything in the store is just perfect for a customer when they first come in. Like all of our local customers, anyone who visits from out of town, I want them to have the best experience possible in coming to the store. And because of that, we typically don't really sell things online. If you can imagine, you've probably been to retro game stores where you go inside and you won't find any Mario Party, no Smash Brothers, no Mario, no normal awesome games. Well, we strive to be able to provide that as much as possible to our local customers. So we did decide, though, that it's really not fair to close off our whole store from everyone in the world. So once per month, we are doing this Twitch live shopping network where right now, starting this very second, you can message DSKoopa checkout and get anything you see in the store.
But there's a couple caveats to that. One, you got to give us your email address first. And 2, even when you order, we might not get back to you right away. We have a lot of orders, and we have to do this through the Whisper system, which, as you can believe, is not the easiest system to do a whole checkout thing through. But we are providing you with deals throughout the store. So if we don't get back to you right away, we will get back to you sometime tonight. And we will be here for hours after the store closes and after the stream is shut off. So if you don't hear back from us by the end of the stream, don't worry. You will get an email with your invoice if those items were available.
Also, I would like to mention that shipping is terrible, right? Everyone's probably wondering about shipping. If you're international, you can probably expect it to start at $14 and go all the way up to $100. Who knows? It's crazy. If you order something small, it's probably going to be about 14 bucks. But if you are subscribed with Twitch, or subscribe to this channel on Twitch, including using your Twitch Prime subscription, which is free if you have Amazon Prime, you can get free shipping within the United States.
Within the United States.
Yeah, sorry, it does not apply to international. It's just too spendy. I'm sorry about that. But keep that in mind. Throw out those free Twitch Prime subs and get yourself free shipping tonight.
Yeah, so it's like the inception of shippings if you're using your Twitch Prime, your Amazon Prime to get your Twitch Prime, because you're already getting, the free shipping through Amazon.
That's like the main point of it, yeah.
Right, so it works, and it's fun. So we will go through each section. We will go slowly and give you guys a chance to look at everything throughout the store, so hopefully you will find some fun stuff tonight.
Yes, and with that, I think we'll get to our very first deal of the night, which I think you guys are going to really like.
Oh,
just
my
about
goodness.
Everybody. You can please pull that up onto the table for me, sir.
Ooh, this is like a fancy Lazy Susan.
Yes, it is. A marble Lazy Susan.
Ooh.
So right here, we have 2 Nintendo Switch consoles that are up for grabs at a whopping, jaw-dropping price of only $150.
What?
And those will go to the first 2 people to call in to this number that I'm trying to pull up on the screen right now.
So, yeah. If you want a Switch, I mean, Smash Brothers is the hottest thing right now. If you want one, if you have one already and possibly, want to be one of those people that's just like, oh yeah, I've got a Switch in my bathroom. So this
get a second Switch.
Get a second Switch.
Leave one in the dock, bring one around with you.
I mean, what? It's like $70 for a pair of Joy-Cons? Like, that's like a whole extra setup for like double that. So I would do that.
So go ahead and call in right now. The first 2 people who get a hold of one of our lovely associates in the back will get themselves one of these Nintendo Switches for only $150. It sounds like we already have a winner.
And this is Kelsey approved. She isn't just out of town, so this isn't some crazy deal that we're doing. You did this last month as well.
Yes, we did.
So it's just a thank you for being here. This is really we really appreciate everyone being here and being a part of the stream. So why not give you a crazy, crazy deal? So, we save some of the better games for locals, but, we still reward you guys for tuning in and checking out the streams in some very fun ways. So, and this is just one of 3 deals.
Yes, we're going to have 3 big deals tonight. Well, even 4 or 5, you could say. It's kind of hard to say. It's a little nebulous, but yeah, this is kind of the big one. Tune in, though. You're going to see some other amazing deals throughout the night. You have a Switch.
I do have a Switch.
What do you think you get the most play at?
It's Smash Brothers
Absolutely.
At this point.
Right now,
we've had a Switch in the house for a long time, and it was collecting dust. But
really?
Once I'm not really that. This is an odd thing to say, but I'm not that much of a Nintendo kid.
What?
Yeah,
What?
I know, right?
Okay.
So as far as Breath of the Wild was fun, but
our first recipient of a Switch is... Wait. Oh, is that Bull?
Flashbang.
Oh, Flashbang! Flashbang has secured himself one of these Nintendo Switches. Congratulations to Flashbang. Thank you so much. A regular visitor of the stream. Congratulations.
Yay! Sir. So you're like a local online getting a good deal.
Yeah. Wow. He knows what's up. So, I got a lot of play out of Breath of the Wild. Probably at least 200 hours. That game is just so vast. So much to be enjoyed with it. It was the first time I think I enjoyed Zelda to a massive degree since Ocarina of Time. It was just crazy. Blew my mind.
I think I love the fact that it is just the screen. You can take this system anywhere and play a full quality game like Skyrim or Doom now or Breath of the Wild. The fact that there's that much portability in a system, it's pretty nuts.
Absolutely.
And especially with the online now, and they're finally getting a virtual console out. Getting to play all the old classic games and stuff like that, but with friends across the internet is sweet. It makes 2-player games fun again. When you don't have a 2-player.
And it makes them easy too, because you got the built-in controllers. It's just just like that. Boom, boom.
Smash healed some friendships. I went home for the holidays, before the holidays, and we played Smash. And it healed. It healed some friendships, but we also got 8 people playing no problem. So the second Switch goes to
the Family OG. Congratulations, the Family OG, for securing that second Nintendo Switch. And with that, we are completely out of Switch consoles, and it's time to start getting to the entire store. So thank you for joining us, everybody. We are going to start right up front with some awesome plushies, some high-quality, officially licensed plushies straight out of Japan. A lot of them Pokemon, a lot of them Mario. You'll see a lot of awesome stuff.
There are some very cool Nintendo plushies. So we're going to be starting with all those, and then we're going to be heading to our Atari games, I believe. But yes, we are in the heart of the the university area in Seattle. So if you're ever in the Seattle area, please come check it out sometime and check out some of the things that we might not be showing you tonight.
And check out this awesome Mario statue.
Yeah. Hey, that was a Christmas present.
It was.
Right?
Wow. Best mom ever, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Getting started here. 1980. All right. So, very start, we got a whole lineup of Mario guys. You might have seen these guys around. These aren't as exclusive as some of our other plushies. However, they are awesome and super high quality and ridiculous, like this Wario here.
All of them just have these extra little details to them that make them very, very cool. And hey, if you want to start repping that Piranha Plant character that's going to be out in DLC soon, you can buy this right now, and then when people start playing him, you could be like, I liked him before he was cool. I've
Best
got
part
the
about this
plushie
guy,
to prove
too,
it.
he just sits right there, perfect.
Yeah. You could literally put that next to a potted plant, and it could have a friend.
There you go.
It'd be nice.
Right here, these things are just the cutest. I love these. I wasn't sure to leave the tag on or not. It looks like they're holding a sign that just says "Adopt me. I'm only $15."
Oh,
they're part of.
the
Oh, and one
Pichus
of them
is
are already
getting
being
out of there.
adopted. So adorable.
Yeah.
Let's not forget Munchlax in the back over here, getting outshone by Wobbuffet here for a
Do
second.
we need to play like the sad music, like those adopt the dog, like every 15 minutes?
Some Sarah McLachlan?
Yeah.
Oh no.
A Pokemon goes unadopted. Will you be the person that gives this Cubone? No, somebody's giving a Cubone a great home. Oh, look at that cute little Snorlax. Like he's got his hand on his tummy and everything.
Oh, he's
like
so tired.
Yeah, he lays there like that. Like these plushies have like a lot of
This is what you become.
character to them.
Yeah,
See,
I love
remember
it.
having to get my, first Pokemon plushies from KFC. Do you remember the?
No, what?
Yeah, some of the original, back when Beanie Babies were still on their way out and Pokemon was on their way in. KFC was just like, we got to get on this Pokemon craze even before Burger King. So we're gonna have a Vulpix. I can't remember what the original ones were. I know it was a Vulpix, a Pikachu, and I think a Dratini. So we've got, larger ones as well. I think these ones are just a little bit more expensive.
And people might be wondering, a lot of these plushies are going to range from the about $18 level all the way up to $30. If you're looking at any of these kind of smaller ones here, they go between $18 and $22. Depending on the complexity of the plushies. See, this guy here, Dragonite, he's a little complex. He's got a lot of stitching on him. He's up at the $22 level. Whereas you look at a Magikarp, actually, he kind of looks complex too, but he's only $18.
I love his whiskers. Oh, that's the
He's
most
doing what he
effective
does
of
best.
Yeah, just failing. Thank you. So yeah, that's it for the first round of plushies, but we've got more.
Oh, we've got much more. This is just the first case. So moving on, we're going to look at some video games. I mean, that's kind of what we do best over here at Pink
Wait,
Gorilla.
people like video games here?
Absolutely. Although we are going to look at one of the lesser popular sections, but we show it a lot of love.
So the reason that I think people should consider investing in some of these games is the artwork on them. If there's one reason to invest in some Atari 2600 or 7, whatever, it's for the artwork. I mean, some of it is very boring, but other stuff is.
Some of it's unique.
Yeah, some of it is very
going on
unique.
here?
Look at bowling right there. Look at that bowling. Look at that. That's a Wisconsin guy. You could throw that behind your bar if you got some bowling statues, and have a little piece. But look at Asteroids. That is just a classic.
That is a cool cover.
That is a very, very classic video game cover right there. So nobody cares about Atari. Well, I mean, it did cause a video game crash. I mean, people were proven right by the whole fad thing. But there are some. If you want to get into the history of video games, you got to start here. These are some of the most basic programming. It's when video games were created by an individual person. Every single element of these video games were programmed by a single person that had an idea. They did the graphics for it. They did the music for it. They did everything for it. So.
And it's funny when you credit an individual person because it really leaves all the culpability to one guy on this.
Yep. And so, have you seen the documentary about Atari, about the E.T. game? Where
No,
they
I have
tried
not.
to it was one of the Xbox. It was the one and only Xbox documentaries, and they tried to be well, it wasn't really that bad. It's no, they made the game in 3 months and they pushed it out fast because they wanted it out by Christmas time, so they just set themselves up to fail. But yeah, you need I have a copy of E.T. and whenever I have friends over, I bring it out and I put it in people's hands, and it's it's like putting a severed head in somebody's hands. They're just oh God, why do you have this? It's definitely a conversation piece, so it's something to pick up, right?
Absolutely. One of the ones I actually still do enjoy is Dragster. Dragster and River Raid are some of the few 2600 games that I'm actually kind of a fan of, as well as Pitfall.
Pitfall was great. This was actually this was my first video game console, and so I remember Space Invaders. I spent a lot of time on Asteroids. Those were the least offensive of the arcade ports because Pac-Man on the Atari doesn't look much like Pac-Man in the arcade.
No, it doesn't.
So yeah, he looks a lot larger. So.
Moving on from the Atari 2600 games here, we have a ton of Famicom games. If you're unfamiliar with the Famicom, now this is the original Nintendo, but as it launched in Japan. It actually came out a little bit earlier than it did in America, and quite a few of these games didn't even make their way over here. This Doraemon game comes to mind right away. Quite a few others I'm sure we'll come across here, but there's some pretty cool ones. Oh, the Dragon Ball games. Some of these are RPGs, some of these are fighting games, but man, as a kid, I would have killed for a Dragon Ball game.
I can't to see how many Dragon Ball games were in Japan and to think that it took so long to get them over here is kind of absurd,
It really is, yeah. It took off when it did, which is a little bit past this time, but
right.
When it did, oh man. Now they're coming out every year it seems like.
Yep. And now they're becoming tournament fighters even, which is good because for a while they were not considered serious games. But once again, these are some of the games that you own for the artwork on them. There are some really fun covers on these games. You can see that some care was put into them. I've got a fun story about Mega Man when we get to that. But hey, if you're thinking about starting your Japanese collection, you do sell the adapters as well.
I do, and
correct?
I was just going to mention that. Thank you. So right over here, if you pick up one of these 60 to 72 pin connectors, you can actually play any of these Famicom games right in your original Nintendo. Interesting bit too. A lot of these games are just straight up in English.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Not all of them, but a lot of them are either so simple that it doesn't matter, or they're just straight up in English. So it's not as bad as you might think to try out some new games. Here's a game that never came to America that I know personally you can play through the entire game without knowing any Japanese, and it's a lot of fun. Ninja Hattori-kun. That's a good one.
But yeah, once again, you will whisper DSKoopa checkout if you would like anything that you see on any of these walls. You can literally buy any of these games that we're currently looking at. You'll have to give them your email address and then what you want, and if you don't hear back right away, don't panic. We've got a lot of orders coming in, so you will hear back sometime this evening, even if it's post-stream. So we will be here all night fulfilling your order, so if there's something that you want, we will be here to grab. So
All right, moving on from the Famicom and the Famicom Disk System games, we have original Nintendo games now. Have at them, folks. These ones are just probably the first and easiest ones to get into here.
There are some classics on these walls. You've got golf. You've got, hey, if this had a different sticker on it, it'd be worth a lot of money.
Sure would.
Unfortunately, it's the one that came with the power pad, so it's not that much money. But hey, that's what stadium events got turned into.
And one thing I'd like to point out is you may notice kind of a unique way of displaying games that we do here. See, they're all in these plastic bags, so that's not only so that you can see the full label, see them front and back, right there on the wall in front of you. But also, when we clean them, we test them and put them in this bag, and then that ensures us that no more dust or dirt or anything weird is going to happen to your game between when you buy it and you take it. It is guaranteed to work from us. Also, another thing you'll notice, right over here with Al Unser Turbo Racing, we do replace the save battery in every single game. You might be surprised to learn that some games used batteries back in the day to retain the save data, but that's just kind of the technology they were stuck with. You know, it was before flash memory or anything like that. So that's just kind of what they had. And, you know, even games like Al Unser Turbo Racing, you know, it's only a $4 game. This is probably a game not a lot of people care about. Well, we do. We're going to replace the battery no matter what, no matter if it's the junkiest game in the world or the best game. It's going to have a brand new save battery inside.
We want you to enjoy these games to their fullest, and that means being able to do that. So
I saw you eyeing Fester's Quest.
You know, like some of you. Oh, hey, you're.
Ninja Hattori, he's out of here.
Gone. Yeah, see you, Ninja. Yeah, Fester's Quest, for those of you who are, you know, angry video game nerd fans, whenever you have friends over to the house that are also fans of the angry video game nerd, it's always great to have some of his classic games, you know, that he's gone through that are notoriously bad. And yes, I saw in chat somebody asked the connectors for the Japanese Famicom games are available to purchase. So.
Oh, absolutely. They're only $10.
Yeah, so that's a pretty great deal. We've got Gordon Ramsay's golf. You know, just like glancing at that, it looks like Gordon Ramsay. You
wow,
know,
it does.
Jagman Nichols. This is a game that I played a lot back in the day. It was Jeopardy.
Okay.
The questions are quite dated. At this point, so yeah, you're not gonna have a whole lot of fun unless you are up on your, early '90s trivia. But hey, friends, if you are whispering DSKoopa checkout and you would like free shipping, if you are subscribed to the channel and live within the United States, you will get free shipping on all of your purchases. So, a little Marvel madness. So here's a fun fact about Mega Man 2, and the weird artwork where he has the gun. So the guy that did the art didn't play video games, so he relied on his partner to tell him what the video game was about, and the screen that they played it on was so small that they couldn't tell that it was his arm that was shooting it, so they're like, well, it looks like he's shooting something, it must be a gun. And that's how that artwork got really weird, and why Mega Man and Mega Man 2 has a handgun.
Yes. Yeah, it looks quite strange. And another story I heard regarding that art, and I heard it at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo just 2 years ago, the original artist actually guested there. And he was telling a story at one of the panels that he didn't know that people were not a fan of his art, that people were joking about his art until like that very year.
Really?
So I think it was about 2015 when he found out that people thought the art was a little
outlandish.
Yeah, that's a great word for it. Yeah.
Yeah, so for those of you who did not grow up in this time, curb appeal is the most important thing when it came to VHS tapes and it came to video games. Like, it doesn't matter how the game plays, but if the box art is cool and it looks like something you want to play, guess what? People are going to rent it because, that's what people do.
There weren't reviews, and you were kind of just relegated to word of mouth back then,
Right, so, it was really up to your imagination anyways, so, that's why the Atari art is so cool, is because, we
that is a lot of
garbage,
imagination. Yeah. One of my favorites is Haunted House, where it's basically a pair of eyes just floating around a black screen.
Yeah, it's some basic ideas. There's some Quest games where it's just like, oh, yep, it's just square rooms.
Here's one that's been around too long for how ridiculous the cover art is.
Yeah, Tubin. One of the 10 games when they fought with Nintendo and decided we're gonna make our own unlicensed games for the Nintendo, and actually got sued for it, but won. Track and Field 2. Oh, the Untouchables. I wouldn't touch that. But
sucker.
Yeah, I had no idea that there was a game about the Untouchables. The group of people, that helped bring down Al Capone.
Weird. I guess it was pretty much any older movie at the time, wasn't it?
Right.
We also do have these if you need them. AV to HDMI converters. They won't make your picture look any better, but they will help you get any of these older games working on a brand new TV. I got a TV about last year. Really, really nice Samsung one. Only has HDMI ports. Nothing else.
If you're a streamer and you're looking into streaming retro games, it can be quite difficult to get the adapters to just do the regular games. But if you get one of those, I've used them on almost every various type of capture card, and it allows you to play all the retro systems through your capture card. So if you're a streamer, those are a great thing to pick up if you want to play actual retro games and not just do the whole crummy ROM thing.
Here's one I grew up with, Mickey Mania. A whole lot of fun. Gradius 3 as well.
It's
awesome
weird. This was
titles.
the Super Nintendo, was the generation that got Disney games right. This era of Disney games, you can find a lot of solid Disney games on the Super Nintendo and the Sega.
I absolutely skipped over it, but Aladdin is one of the best classics for that.
Yeah, absolutely. It is 100% a classic. Those games were great. All the Disney games. The Lion King, even though it's so hard, was a great game as well. So, Mario's Machine, one of the lesser known Mario games. That's kind of a weird history lesson for people if you're into that sort of thing.
Speaking of weird ones, Pac-Man 2, The New Adventures, took the classic formula of a fun game of the most iconic character in video gaming history and made it a point-and-click adventure. Completely opposite the arcade style it originally had. Still, actually, not that bad, believe it or not.
Got some classic Street Fighter up there. You know, a little Street Fighter 2 for ya.
We also got Tetris and Dr. Mario, the perfect puzzle combo pair.
Ooh, I believe that was like bundled with a Super Nintendo at one point.
Yeah, some cases, yeah. When it wasn't Super Mario World, I think.
Mine came with Zelda when I got it, and it was that weird second generation Super Nintendo.
Oh, that one! Wow, we actually have one of those right now. They're very, very uncommon.
Oh, really?
Here we are, Wing Commander there at the bottom, and X Zone. All right, coming off of the Super. Oh, go ahead. Coming out of the Super Nintendo wall. See you later, Killer Instinct. Nice knowing you. That one always stands out.
Yeah, I somehow convinced my mom to play that when she was like super against those games because I'm like, it's not blood, it's like oil coming out of it.
Yeah, it's green guts and whatnot. I'd also like to point out we do have a couple in-box Super Nintendo games up here.
Madden! Pow! Madden 94, it's great!
What's it called? Super Nintendo games, especially in box, go very quickly. I believe all of these have the instruction manuals as well. We got some of the standout ones are just Jungle Book and Operation Europe Path to Victory. Yes,
Path to Victory.
I couldn't see that.
1939 to 1945.
Go.
It's from the people who did Dynasty Warriors too.
Oh,
so
nice.
That's got to be strange.
Very tactical one.
Ooh.
Right up here we do have Super Famicom controllers. So that is the Japanese version of the original Nintendo controller. It's nice because it adds a little bit of button flair. You get some nice colors with your buttons. Yeah, they look great. Now here's the downside. The controller is about this long. The controller cord is about this long. It's about 3 feet long. It's very rough. So right here we're working on Super Famicom games. These are Japanese versions of the original Super Nintendo games. You're going to find a lot of games here that never came to America. You're also going to find a lot of games that did, but they're at a much lower price point, which is great. And also, you can totally play these games on your Super Nintendo or Super Nintendo-like device. Like if you got one of those new Super NTs. Did you hear about that thing? Mm-hmm. Amazing. That plays this outright. If you got a Retron, Retro Duo, whatever, they just straight up play this. And if not, it's a simple modification to your Super Nintendo to get this going.
Yeah, the only difference is a tiny groove in the back of the cartridges that the Super Nintendos in America have. So you get rid of that extra piece of plastic. I call it removing your Super Nintendo's tonsils. And you can play these games. So if you're thinking about getting into speedrunning, these are usually the copies of the games that you want to get because the text is normally faster. Because of the Japanese characters in the game. So,
Bomberman, that's a good one. Ooh. And also, I'm noticing Dragon Ball Z Hyperdimension. That's a very cool fighting game that never came to America. You don't need to know a word, a character of Japanese. You don't even need to know what Japanese is to play that game. It's amazing.
You don't need to know. You don't need to know English to fight your opponent.
Universal language of beating each other up. There's Chrono Trigger, great for a collection. Only $15.
I actually picked that up from here.
Perfect.
It looks nice in my glass case. So that's the thing. It's like, these games that are more expensive in America, like your Final Fantasies, are only $15 in Japanese because they were so popular and they were just printed at such volume that they're like a common game in America. Like they were very common. So you can get
unlike
some cool
here, and Chrono Trigger's up near $100 or so. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, my friend for Christmas actually gifted me the manual, the 2 maps, and the box in like pristine condition. So now I have a complete one.
Nice.
I'm pretty excited about it.
Japanese Mario Paint. Oh, here's one that you don't need to know any Japanese to play. Kirby Super Deluxe.
Kirby. Ooh,
again,
sweet.
With a brand new save battery inside of it.
And if you like submarines and Tom Clancy, but in Japanese, we've got the Hunt for Red October. It would appear in Japanese.
Have you actually played that one?
I have not.
Oh. No. Well, there you go. Give it a shot. The game is your oyster. Figure out.
I hope it's some sort of tactical Japanese thriller. Oh yeah, see, there you go. You gotta have a copy of Super Mario World in Japanese. That's pretty awesome. I think that's something that you would just, you would like to have on a shelf, right?
It really cranks the cover up because the American cover is basically just Mario riding Yoshi. This is the whole world in Mario riding Yoshi.
Right. It's got that nice yellow on it.
Super Mario RPG. That one might be a little tough to play, but here's one that isn't. Super Puyo Puyo 2 for the Super Famicom.
Puyo Puyo.
Puyo Puyo.
Puyo Puyo.
You know, like Kirby's Avalanche, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Oh, okay,
That's
yeah.
what we're talking about. Puyo Puyo. That's what it was in Japanese before it ever came to America. And down here at the very bottom, we're going to have a Yu Yu Hakusho fighting game. Oh, and I almost completely missed these Super Mario cards at a much lower price.
Different colors to them too. Like one's got a yellow label and one's got an orange label.
And now this one is going to be actually a little bit more boring, despite what we said earlier. The American cover, much cooler.
Yeah.
It's got a whole party of fools racing, but this one's just Mario.
They were like, we need to make up for our boring Super Mario World cover.
There you go. So right here, Yu Yu Hakusho, the fighting game, pretty cool. Plays a lot like the Dragon Ball ones. And at the very bottom, another collector's piece that's linked to the past.
Oh, there you go.
Looks-
See, that's a pretty cool cover art on that too. Just the sword sitting there.
Absolutely.
I like it.
All right, moving on. I think it's time for our second deal of the night.
Oh,
we're gonna
my
go
goodness.
check in at the very front of the store. Whew. Whew. Thank you very much,
yeah.
Assistant Cyborg.
Assistant Cyborg.
And this is the big second deal. Oh, excuse me. And this is our big second deal of the night here. We have got. Hold on. Let me pull it up. We have got the new GCHDS, which just came out last month, at a lower price than you will find them anywhere online. These are only going to be $124.99, $125, normally $150 value. This sucker will give you perfect HDMI output straight from your GameCube. It can also, while outputting HDMI, also output component at the exact same time with an auxiliary output. This thing gives you all the options in the world to give you the perfect GameCube gaming experience. Think about this. Smash Bros. Melee players,
Yeah.
very particular people. This device right here, HDMI output with zero lag directly into a computer monitor, say no more. Perfect Melee experience with an auxiliary jack. Plug your headphones in, you're good to go. It's a lot easier than chugging around one of those CRTs, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if you are in your local Smash scene, you know, this is a great thing that you would be able to pick up for tournaments and stuff like that to help make things a little bit easier as far as the production side of things. Capturing all those outputs can sometimes be a very big a pain, so this is an easy way to get that quality without losing, you know, the precious frames that everybody is so worried about.
Absolutely. I mean, you never want to have any outside factors determining a winner of an important game like Melee.
Yeah.
So again, these are $125, and you can actually buy these directly through our website right now using promo code EON. That's EON. And I believe Eilern will post a couple links in the chat to bring you right to the direct order page. So if you just want one of these, you want nothing else to do with our store, you can order one of those right now. It's $25 off, and again, free shipping throughout the United States. Go for it.
Yeah, the GameCube has some incredible graphics. Like, I mean, for as tiny as the discs are, like, they put out some pretty incredible games for it. So the fact that you can upscale them like this is pretty nice for anybody who enjoys the collection of games. Like, I mean, it was the first place that Resident Evil 4 was on. And
Was it? Wow,
yeah.
okay, cool.
And so, like, it looks great. It is a very good-looking game. So it's a very nice thing for anybody who really wants to enjoy their GameCube games in the fullest quality still.
The first game I popped in on this is Automodellista. Is that how you pronounce it?
Not
Capcom racing game. It's all cell shaded. It looks beautiful, especially with this. It's totally compatible with the progressive scan game, so it just looks like it just really pops. Like, especially like just the brightness and clarity. Like, you can look at some side-by-side comparison videos, and you'll see things that just weren't there before. It's just so much clearer. It's amazing. I love these things. So again, if you would like one of these, you can either add it to your Twitch Shopping Network order, or you can order it directly through our website right now, pinkgorillagames.com, using promo code EON, E-O-N, and secure yourself one right now.
E-O-N.
E-O-N. That's the makers of this lovely product. And again, this is the Mark II model. You may have heard of the earlier editions. This added just a couple features that the kind of hardcore GameCube players really had an issue with. They're very, very minor factors.
Believe it or not, the Smash Brothers players are particular about their setups.
Understandable. It's like the highest level of a fighting game. Anyway,
Right.
so from there, we're going to move on to our next couple sections. If anybody has any particular requests, if we have some extra time at the end of the night, we will be sure to get to them. So just let our associates know, and we'll try our best for you. So moving on.
Yeah, as we move on, remember that if you sub, you get free shipping within the United States.
Absolutely.
So
Free domestic shipping.
Yeah.
Can't beat
consider
that.
subscribing to the channel.
If you're ordering a lot of things, it would be crazy not to.
Yeah, it's going to be a big box at the end of the night.
All right, moving on from here, we are going to hit up some N64 games, and these are the Japanese 64 games that we're starting with. It's very similar to the Super Nintendo section. You're going to have a couple games that never came to America, but mostly you're going to have a lot of games that came to America at a lower price point because they're in Japanese, and you really don't need to know a word of Japanese to play them. A couple exclusives here that I see right away are the Doraemon games. They play similarly to Mario 64. Thank you. They play similarly to Mario 64, but they're a lot more of like a kid's game, you know. Not quite as amazing as Mario 64.
So yeah, we these once again, just like with Super Nintendo, when it comes to speed running, these are the cartridges that you're probably going to want to pick up simply because the text makes everything faster. So games like Zelda, Ocarina of Time, or Majora's Mask, they're usually ran in Japanese for that very specific reason.
Right over here, I can see a couple games that are a little tougher to find in English, and a couple that are great to play no matter the language. Chameleon Twist, who cares the language? Banjo-Kazooie, now that's a funny one, because for the most part, Banjo-Kazooie can absolutely be played in English, except the very last boss. I won't spoil it, but it's 100% text, so you can enjoy almost every other second of the game.
That's
for
hilarious.
quite a bit cheaper. Diddy Kong Racing, that's another one. Donkey Kong 64, that one might be a little tough actually, but Kirby 64, no question about that. Play that for cheaper in Japanese.
Yeah. Pokemon Snap, you know, the original Pokemon Go. You know,
Yes.
sitting there, you know, kind of interacting with Pokemon, but not actually.
Here's one that I like to point out. The Mario Party games have had like a kind of a huge comeback recently. And these games are, you know, they're fun for adults, but they are made for kids, I would say. And
yes.
Playing them in Japanese really doesn't matter. It's very visual. Everything that you're seeing, I mean, there is text there, but it doesn't matter. Everything you're seeing is so visual, you can completely understand what's happening. And
they
the one
literally
thing
show
you
like
might-
demos of the games too.
Exactly. You might be wondering, like, well, what about the mini games? That might be a problem. Well, if you remember, you can practice any mini game before heading into it. There's a copy of Smash Bros. With the kind of different cutesy cover. I guess both the covers are pretty cute, but I do like that one there.
Yeah, there's got to be virtually no difference with Smash Brothers too. So pick
as
that
a
up
matter
for a
of
little.
fact, a lot of Smash Brothers right there is in English.
So there you go. Pick that up for a little bit cheaper.
Here's one that I love is Star Fox 64, one of my favorite 64 games ever. Well, actually, this one had voice acting.
Oh,
and
yes.
that's the funniest part about 64 is you get a much more serious tone with the Japanese one. They sound like dead set. Like, this is not a kid's game. Get the hell out of here. This is very serious, and it's funny. Yoshi's Story, another one you don't need to know lick of a language to play. Down here, though, Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time in Japanese.
Ooh, Shadows of the Empire, where they were like, "Oh, we're gonna put Boba Fett on the cover." That's way better than just a boring stormtrooper like the American version of that.
And funny enough, not the main character of either game.
Yeah, yeah, not in one level, in one level of the game. So, got some boxed Japanese games as well.
And we also have just tons of accessories. Pretty much anything you can need with the exception of we are sold out of the expansion pack. Sorry about that, but you need a memory card, you need a transfer pack, power cable, AV cable, extension cord. We got you, and especially when it comes to controllers, we have a wide selection of colors, including the gold one.
Ooh, yeah, the little Zelda one.
Gold, gray, and my favorite, believe it or not, my favorite weird third-party one is this Super Pad here. Now,
I had that thing.
As weird as it looks like at first glance, it is a lot more normal than this weird third three-handed
It
controller,
actually is.
right?
It actually is.
So right over here we have got the American 64 games, and we'll move on to them. And again, I don't think I mentioned before, but the Japanese games are very much playable in an American 64 with a very slight modification. And in fact, if you're local, we do that modification 100% for free.
Oh,
so
nice.
Bring in your 64 and we can help you out with that.
Bring in your 64.
1080 Snowboarding, that was a cool one I grew up with. Believe it or not, made by, or game directed by Shigeru Miyamoto.
Oh, really?
One of his lesser creative
Yeah, he's
games,
just like, I
but
want to
still
make
cool.
a snowboarding game.
Yeah. You never know.
Sarge's Heroes. That, you know, of all the games that are getting, like, remastered, I would love to see the Army Men games come back. Like, I had a lot of fun with those games in this era.
Absolutely. Gex has got that 90s Gex attitude.
Yep, he's got that smart mouth. If you like smart mouth characters and pop culture references, Gex is definitely the game for you.
Command and Conquer, if you want a dual screen RTS game, you can see each other's bases.
Yeah, that
Every
and,
move.
you know, StarCraft, you know, for some reason they decided needed to be on the Nintendo 64, so...
Why not? Why not?
It's a cruising world. You know, that's a fun multiplayer game to play with all your friends, so...
Right all the way up here, we got Mario's Tennis, or Jet Force Gemini, a couple that I just see that pop out to me that I grew up playing. Namco Museum, which includes Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Galaga, Galaxian, Pole Position, and Dig Dug for only $10.
Ooh.
Killer Instinct 64, so many good ones. Oh, here we go. Here's a great one. If you're not into sports at all, but you're sort of into sports, NFL Blitz 2001. It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, you
Very
know,
over
it's
the
just like,
top.
hey, we're gonna take football, but take everything out of it that makes it, like, rules and just have people hitting each other, which is what you want anyways, right?
Literally after every play is just a ton of dudes getting destroyed. Just getting tackled left and right. Up here again is starting with Perfect Dark and Pilot Wings. Interesting bit about Pilot Wings I'll just throw out there. Did you know if there's a Pilot Wing game for the system, it was a launch title every single time
Yep.
it came out? And it makes sense. It's pretty simple, very chill. I loved playing Pilot Wings 64 growing up. I also
They want to
love
show
Pokemon
off
Snap.
sweet graphics of the system, what the system can handle. It's like a demo, essentially.
Here we are with American Star Fox 64 if you don't want to mess around with
Yeah.
the regional compatibility.
Episode
and the
1
Star Wars
Racer.
games, man.
Great
Every
game.
Star Wars game was great on the 64, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked them all. I can't think of one that was like, nyeh.
Absolutely.
PlayStation had some crummy ones, but the 64 ones were very, very solid.
Tetrasphere, and at the very bottom, Yoshi's Story sneaking in there. Whoa, that was good. All right, let's move on from there and hit up everybody's favorite section. It's the Game Gear section.
Yeah,
Can
you have
talk about these at all? I can't hardly.
You know, Game Gear was one of those things that, you know, every kid always wanted, but you knew, like, one kid that had it.
I did too, and it was my cousin, so I did play a couple of these, and it's not the worst thing in the world. I don't mean to totally crap on it, but it is hard to find a working system these days. If you have one,
Hold on to
hop
it.
on, hop on board and pick up some of these good
And
titles.
It's like I do
Fatal
remember
Fury.
it looking very good. Like, I remember the games looking good, but it was one of those things where it's like it required 6 AA batteries to play, and like if you know, if you didn't have it plugged into the wall, you weren't gonna have a good time.
We did have it plugged into the wall always, and I was really just wowed by playing Sonic.
Yeah.
Just portably.
Yeah,
it was my
it
favorite
looked-
game at the time.
It looked very, very close to the originals, and you know, it was always one of those things that I wanted as a kid, but just never got my hands on. So, but it's like I'd buy Star Wars for this cover, you know, with that's like the record
Oh, there you
cover
go.
actually too,
Yeah.
and Spider-Man because I'm a sucker for anything with Spider-Man on it. So, but I did.
Whoa, Virtua Fighter animation. What is that? That's cool.
I have no idea. I did, however, have the system next to these games.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
So
I'm sorry.
I actually have that weird Sega JVC hybrid unit.
Oh, the JVC XI.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I did have that. So
we're looking at Sega CD next.
Sega CD games. Yeah. So you got your Mad Dog McCree, just very weird. The Masked Rider, which is essentially an episode of the Japanese show, and you just hit left or right, and he'll like ride on his motorcycle to different locations and stuff like that. Sonic CD was absolutely amazing. Like,
That's
that
what
was
I
a
always
great-
hear. This is the one saving grace of the console
Right,
here.
and the Jurassic... Well, so the Terminator game is also pretty great on it. But the Jurassic Park game is super weird, and there's a Triceratops that, like, when you get to a certain point, it notices you, and it rams you, and it's just game over. And I've never, ever gotten past that one point, because it was a time before manuals.
Yeah.
So...
right over here, we're going to go skip ahead. Got a couple 3DO games I'll go through really quick. It's a very particular audience for these, and we don't have the biggest selection in the world. There's a Japanese golf game. But right over here, we got some Master System titles. Not the most exciting covers, but this was
the most boring. Like, it's just this weird, brown text tile almost. It looks like kitchen tile or something like that.
Absolutely, but if you think that's funny, you should see the boxes.
Yeah,
they have some of the most entertaining and boring covers at the same time. Sports Pad Football, believe it or not, a kind of uncommon sports game. Shooting gallery here, and again, a lot of these are going to have their instruction manuals with them. If you're curious, please message DSKoopa Checkout, and they can check for you for sure. Here's one of the funnier covers: Pro Wrestling.
He's got his own head in a headlock.
Yes,
it's a self-headlock, I guess.
It appears so. Couple more Miracle Warriors, My Hero, Monopoly, which if we have out there, has a misprint on the actual cartridge itself, and it's Monopoly. Mono space Poly.
Monopoly.
Hang on. What else? Great Ice Hockey, another uncommon one. I think it's just that the Master System was an uncommon system.
That guy doesn't look like he's playing hockey. It looks like he's getting ready to, rob a store in heat.
He looks pissed. Yeah. Jeez. All right over here. Going to continue on to the console I grew up with.
Sega, yes.
Yes.
Believe it or not, I did as well.
Nuts,
having
dude.
that weird, Sega CD combo, that was, the big system growing up as a kid. So, Death of Superman. Ooh, there's a good one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and Aladdin, Animaniacs. Actually, a lot of great titles here already.
This game, you can't see the cover. It's just this guy being like, get out of here, I'm going to shoot you. A Dynamite Duke, apparently. Clearly one of the earlier games, because they're still rocking the weird grid, but they've decided to turn it black instead of brown, I guess.
Here's one that was recently pointed out in the ABGN episodes as being one of the actual better Home Alone games.
Yeah.
Most of them are pretty bad.
Yes.
But I actually had that one as well growing up, and I was always wondering why people... I was wondering why people kind of said that the Home Alone game sucked. I was like, well, the one I played was great. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe I'm dumb. But turns out it was the hidden gem that somehow snuck its way in there.
Someone in chat said they always hated the sound on the Sega Genesis. Fun fact, Michael Jackson developed music for Sonic, but the sound wasn't up to his standards, so he's like, you can't put my name on this. So there are some tracks that are essentially Michael Jackson composed. I think it's in Sonic 3. It might be 2, but he was such a big fan that he wanted to make music for the game, but when the system could not handle the quality of sound that he wanted, he's just like, no. You can't put my name on this stuff.
That's hilarious. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers games, both of them I remember being pretty fun, as well as Mortal Kombat Notorious with the Blood. This is the way to play it on the Sega Genesis right here.
Hey, you have to... So, for Mortal Kombat 1, the blood is there, but on the screen you have to enter ABBB, ABBB, ABC, or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, and that turns on the blood. Otherwise, the game is the sanitized version.
That almost makes it more
code.
fun, I think. It's like, as a kid, I would think it makes it like a secret,
So I turned it, the one time I was like, I'm going to turn it on, was when my dad came into the room, and he's just like, I told you not to play with this. I'm taking it away, and he took it away.
Here's a weird one, but Pugsy. I grew up with this and love this game so much. It's like a weird action puzzle platformer. On Race Driving, one of the few... This game was in 3D, believe it or not.
One of the first, weird 3D
it
games.
It was very... there were 3 polygons on the screen. It was ridiculous, but it worked. It worked. Right over here, again, I'd like to just emphasize that we do replace the save batteries and clean and test every single one of their games, and it shows better than anywhere else with this game here. Only a $1 game, but still, it's getting a brand new save battery inside. Save your seasons in, what is this? Football 94 starring Joe Montana.
Sports games.
Here we go. Super Street Fighter 2.
Oh, there you go.
Awesome. Risk, another one I grew up with. No one will ever play a game of Risk with you in your life. It is it is an 8-hour game. Play it on the Genesis.
So it's more of a 3-hour game. And fun fact, I used to have a Risk night at my house, and it was so popular that we had to have 2 boards going.
Oh my! Okay.
And we did it every week for years.
My friends were more of the flip over the board type of guys. Sonic the Hedgehog, must have on the Genesis, as well as Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, baby.
Well, and I noticed down here, I've never seen this one before. It's Sonic Classics. It includes all 3 great Sonic games. I've never seen this one before.
I am 99% sure the 3 games it includes are Mean Bean Machine, Sonic 1, and Sonic 2.
That is misleading.
Yes.
Oh,
not Sonic 3, the big one, the one that everybody wants.
So here's one of the most notorious of Sega games. No one knew how to beat this game for a long time because you're in Mojo's television world, and it tells you that you have to restart the computer to end the game. And what it doesn't tell you is that you have to restart your Sega Genesis console.
Not my instincts.
Yeah, definitely not.
That.
So there was like a contest in a magazine, like, can anybody figure out how to beat this stupid game? And they actually had to get the inside tip from a developer or something like that. People were so mad when they found out. So.
All right, really quick, we're going to cover the Sega Saturn Japan games. We're going to scroll through them a little bit quicker than some of the others to get to some of the more popular sections, but I know people are on the lookout for some of these Japanese Saturn titles here.
Once again, if you are interested in anything on these walls, you got to whisper DSKoopa checkout, and we will get to you. You have to give us your email address. We might not get back to you right away. It might take a couple hours, but we will get to you. So.
Absolutely. Just tell us everything you want, everything you see, and we will figure it out for you. Don't you worry one bit.
And people would like to see the boxed Sega Genesis games.
Oh, yes, I almost completely passed them over. Thank you for pointing that out for me. Shining Force 3, Sentimental Graffiti.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this game, but I want to.
One Chi Collection, I believe this is like a murder mystery game.
It kind of looks like it.
Full FMVs and everything.
Ooh, yeah, you gotta love them FMV games.
12 frames a second.
Glorious. Must have been one of them expensive ones.
All right over here we have some in-box Sega Genesis games, and if the manual is a breaking point for you, please message DSKoopa Checkout and ask them to check on the manual for you, and maybe check on prices as well. I know you can only see the spines on these, but they're all very reasonably priced. Mortal Kombat, Monopoly, NBA Jam.
Now that's one that I spent a lot of time with growing up.
Samurai Showdown, Revolution X. Now that's one that stands out.
Hey, if
Music
you save all
is
the
the
Aerosmith, if you save all the members of Aerosmith, you get an Aerosmith concert at the end. I'm not sure if that's how the arcade version was. I'm not sure if they could actually handle that on
I never beat it.
Sega. I did once in an arcade, but I didn't get all the members.
Samurai Showdown, Shaq Fu, Sonic Classics again. Oh, here we can confirm it.
Oh, yeah.
Sure enough, Sonic 1, Mean Bean Machine, and 2.
Yeah. You called it.
Sneaky trick. Sonic 1, 2, and 3 in box over here. Super Hang On, that's a great one. Toy Story, again, Disney knocking it out of the park.
That one was one of the harder ones. I never beat that one. I think I got as far as Sid. I got to Sid's house.
Oh, you're getting there. Okay. Jungle Book also, that was a great one. Very easy, though. Easy as hell. All right, moving on to the Dreamcast games, and then I think we're going on to our third deal. I believe so. Third deal is after this one. So right here we have Dreamcast games, Bomberman Online, Crazy Taxi, and notice a lot of them are just disc only, which is unfortunate. I'm a collector myself, and I wish that these were in the box, but that's just not the way it plays out always. Dreamcast games especially are pretty scarce, it seems like.
What a great system, though. Like,
Oh, so many unique, amazing games.
it should have blown the PS2 and the Xbox out of the water, and I'm still confused as to why it didn't. Like, you know, games like Phantasy Star, plus you've got like the arcade lineup, plus everything that's coming out on the regular PlayStation, plus it can handle most of the stuff for the PlayStation 2 even, I feel. So, it's like, it was just bad timing for Sega and just one too many burns with, you know, the Sega Saturn and the Sega CD and the systems that came before it, so...
It's unfortunate, although it is. I will fondly remember it for being the best way to play Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Yep.
One of my favorite games of all time.
It was the best way to play the Amazing Spider-Man game that came out during that generation too, because he actually had the webbing on his on the graphics.
All right, let's head back up to the counter and move on to our third deal of the night. There is a couple more we'll sneak in there, but here is this one here.
Boom! And it's keychains, guys.
Oh
we
my
have
God.
an enormous selection of awesome keychains. If you would please talk a little bit about these. These are high-quality keychains that come directly out of Japan.
We've
these are
got-
things that you'll find in like gachapon machines maybe, or like kind of gift stores, but we're bringing them to you. And the nice benefit that you have here is that you don't have to leave it up to random chance. This isn't gambling. You are getting exactly what you want. out
You
of
want a
these.
Vaporeon? You can get a Vaporeon. You want a Flareon? You can get a Flareon. You want a Goku? You can get yourself a Goku.
And normally in store, these all range. These all have variable pricing. They go between $4 all the way up to $7. But tonight only, every single keychain, smaller item you see like this in the store is going to be only $4.
Oh my goodness.
So we've got awesome, cute little things like little woodland critter. Things that aren't really particularly from any video game. They're just unique Japanese ones, all the way up to Dragon Ball Z. High quality keychains here. From very, very obscure series as well. This is Timebreaker Vegeta. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
You know, there is just so much Dragon Ball I have never heard of.
There we go. Yeah, I love these. This made Christmas very easy for me, I'll say. Being in this store, you know, it's...
Yeah, you
so
can easily you can dangle these things off of anything and it's going to make it look cute. So,
And also, I would like to take this moment to point out some of the more Dragon Ball figures. If you can show those off a little bit better, they are really high quality. Put them on your keys. It's funny before, yeah, play fight with them. Before they had these really, really sharp, pointy hair, right? And it would actually stab you and hurt. But now they've come out with a
they've dulled the hair.
less hairspray, and now they're more practical. It's also at this time of the night that I'd like to point out that we do have our own Pink Gorilla Games merchandise. I'm here wearing my own Pink Gorilla Games shirt. We also have that shirt that you see up there. We also have snapbacks. We also
The
have
hats are sweet. I dig the hats. Yeah.
Thank you. So we also have hats, we also have beanies, we also have stickers. All of this stuff is available on our website, pinkgorillagames.com, under the Pink Gorilla Gear tab. And if you use promo code STREAMINGSHIRT, it's all one word lowercase, it's not complicated, you'll get $5 off one of our t-shirts. Only $15.
Sweet.
And if you ever come to the store, it's a unique thing we do here. It's kind of like our version of a GameStop Elite Club membership. If you come in wearing one of these shirts, you'll get 10% off anything in the store. If it's Friday, like it is today, you'll get 20% off anything in the store. And that's our thank you to you for representing the store, passing the good word around. So thank you very much. Promo code STREAMINGSHIRT on our website, pinkgorillagames.com, to get one of our shirts for $5 off.
And you're going to look better than, I would say, 98% of the people out there when you wear that shirt out. Everyone's going to be like, oh man, you look so good. Where can I get one of those shirts? So there are reasons to wear the shirt other than the sweet discount. You're going to look beautiful.
There you go. And, also, they are the most comfortable shirt that I could get. American Apparel, if you're familiar with their fit, that's how they're gonna work. All right, let's move on from here. We have so much more to show, and I almost forgot to switch the overlay for the 100th time tonight. Hilariously unprofessional.
But hey, friends, anything that you see on these walls coming up, you can absolutely order from the store. Just whisper DSKoopa checkout, and we will get back to you before the end of the night. But, you know, don't panic if we don't get back to you right away. There are quite a few orders coming in, so thank you.
And do not. Oh, and I would like to actually start with these keychains. Just as I said, literally anything you see right now from when I tell you that we're done is going to be only $4. Don't worry about the price tag. As you can see here, some of these are $7 for some of these larger bird keychains. But yeah, these are just like a perfect gift item for, I don't know, anybody really. But they're just so adorable and unique. That's my favorite thing about gifts, is when I can get a unique gift that somebody's never seen before and they actually like it. It's like, not only are you going to blow their mind by getting them something that they like, but it's going to really blow their mind because they're like, oh wait, what the hell? Hold on a second. I've never seen this and I like it. What's going on here?
Yeah, these penguins are... this is the first time I've actually seen these little guys or noticed them, and they're very cute.
Yeah. We got one cow left. Someone's looking for a cow. Cute little puppies. Treats.
Sand snake.
I don't know what that guy is. Yeah.
Sandworms.
There you go. Whole bunch of like woodland critters.
Oh yeah, these are things that, you know, you're not going to see in many other stores. So it's definitely a cute little gift to get somebody that is unique, and they aren't going to have seen it anywhere else. So
I do love these little dogs. They're just like, they're so I don't know. So it's so strangely soft. Like, undescribably soft.
Little notebooks, little scissors.
All sorts of school supplies. Everyone's going back to school. I think winter break's just now ending for everybody.
Yep. Monday, I think, is the first day back for a lot of universities.
There you go. Get them one of these. Yep. Say, hey, sorry, I know you got to go back, but every time you look at this, you're going to feel a little bit happier about being in school.
Yeah, you've got that little crush that, you know, you want to work that school angle, get her a little, you know, pink notebook.
There you go, and write your phone number right in these pages.
Yeah. There you go.
Oops.
All right. Continuing on, these are also still $4 if you see it.
All of these like little parfait, and these are pretty unique. These what are these
Bubble
called?
teas?
Bubble teas. Yeah, with actual real liquid inside.
Bubbles.
Yeah. And if you don't like these ones are cool, but they do have the label on the outside, which I'm not the biggest fan of personally. I think they're very cute, but these ones here, completely transparent. You get the full liquid effect on display there.
Please do not drink them.
Try it. Go ahead.
No, don't. Big Gorilla does not condone the drinking of little bubble teas, keychain liquids.
These ones are cool. These are cup noodles. See, one of them is spilling out. And unique thing about these is you can actually lift up.
And there's little noodles
the
underneath
lid. Yeah,
them.
it's like a literal noodle set. Yeah.
The funny thing is like you could actually buy like a case of these noodles for like more than for about the same price as this keychain.
Good point. Yeah,
you can literally eat the noodles for less than the keychain.
Over here we got
not
these.
Not tonight because it's $4.
Yes, $4. But right over here we have this like Alice in Wonderland collection, which you might not even notice. See, Japan loves to cross like these properties into like something cute, new, and unique. So right here, this might look like a mana potion for like maybe Legend of Zelda or something, but it's actually like the drink. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You got it. See, this is like the Queen of Hearts. We got the rabbit, Cheshire Cat, the cards.
But as like as a burger.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
is that? Like a cream puff?
Oh, a macaroon.
Oh, okay,
yes,
yeah.
The hottest new thing.
Gotcha.
Right over here we have some more unique, weird crossovers. These are birds and desserts. Birdzerts. And
a bird with a laptop.
Yeah, these are called destructive birds. These ones here are, see this bird here, very cute. Any bird owners out there know the struggle. This bird has ripped off a bunch of keys from the laptop, and I've definitely
been... What a naughty bird.
I've definitely been in that situation. Now we're getting into the weirdest part of the Japanese crossovers, which is treats and pandas.
Panda treats.
Yes, and this is about as strange as it gets.
Yeah, you got like an eclair panda here.
But they're very cute, and they very much stand out. Right here, some Sailor Moon ones. I don't remember any of the Sailor Scouts' names based solely on their wand. I don't know if you're familiar.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Nope.
But we have, I believe that's the full set, I'm pretty sure. And just a few left of these. You might be wondering why these straps here have a finger hole in them, right? So the idea is that you strap it onto like your cell phone or your DS or your Switch, put your finger through it while you're playing, and if you drop it, it'll be onto a string, so it won't fall anywhere. And if you could take over from here, starting with the Layton characters.
And then we got some Splatoons, too.
Are you familiar with this new series of Layton?
I am not, no.
So this one was called, like, Layton Catriel's Mystery something. I totally forget the exact title of it. But it's Lady Layton. It's kind of the new direction.
Oh, a reboot.
Yeah. And it's great, too. It's great, just like the original Layton game.
Oh, somebody wants a pink bubble tea. Yeah, good call on the pink one. Got some Splatoon weapons. Got your roller. You know, if you're maining the Squid Kid in Smash Brothers. And then more of our Dragon Ball characters. I don't know any of their names, I apologize. I know there's Goku and Vegeta and an Android 76? I don't know. And apparently time hopping Vegeta, who time hops with a hockey mask on his face. And then we've got a strange half cyborg. Man, there's some Dragon Ball Z people like hating me right now. We've got I went to heaven, dude. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. There's like the place where they train, and it's like heaven and stuff like that. We've got a bird on a toothbrush. That's sweet, isn't it? And then birds with, I don't know, like Play-Doh? I don't know. Is it like a dumpling or something like that? I'm not. That's a bar of soap. That is a bar of soap. We got a snow cone. That almost looks good enough to eat. Like Japanese people just want to be reminded of like I'm hungry now. So, and then we've got everybody's favorite game to backseat on Twitch, which is Undertale. Got a variety of characters. I still haven't played it.
So right here, Frisk,
Yeah.
Toriel, forget
Aquaman.
Papyrus,
Baboni Bone.
Papyrus, please.
Oh, okay.
Please.
Papyrus, please. And then we've got some more cool, like, little Pokemon keychains.
Yeah, these are from the most recent movie in Japan. Now, this guy is kind of like the new Mewtwo, you could say.
Oh, okay.
Not quite. Kind
The
of the way that
Mewtwo.
Lucario was like the new Mewtwo in a way.
Gotcha.
He's like a real powerful dude. This guy's electric fighting. We also got Pichu, Eevee, Pikachu, and Lugia. Old favorites and new favorites as well. This guy's name, you might think of him as more of like a Digimon. That's how I first interpreted it.
He looks like a Digimon, yeah.
His name is Zera Ora.
Oh. Did you see they're redoing the first movie in CGI?
Strange.
Yeah, the first Pokemon movie, it's like, oh, we're gonna just redo it, but with computer animation instead.
Huh.
Little cute Kirby's.
Yeah, so these
Kirby
are
clips.
Yeah, these are clips. You can put them on your hair. I put them on lanyards when I go to conventions.
Oh, that's cute.
They work perfect for that. And again, showing off all of these Eevee. Literally any Eevee you want, you got it. $4 each. Buy the whole set if you like. They all actually latch together, you'll notice. Normally they don't all include the ball chain, but we personally added that because we know people might just want one Eevee and don't want to be stuck with it not having a ball chain. But these are actually made to all link together. So you could have one long chain of Eevees if you wanted.
Yeah, like a Eevee-peed.
Yeah.
And then we've got some cute little Pokemon with the Pokeball, or it's like a Poke Cup. It's not a Pokeball, it's like a teacup.
Exactly. So
A Pokemon teacup. You know, like there's teacup poodles, you get a teacup Pikachu.
You could have a TV.
A TV.
And then our final keychain here, again, only $4. Any of the things you just saw between the break and now are $4. This is Sanrio crossed with Splatoon. Sanrio gets its mitts into everything, it seems like, and I think this is a very cute and cool crossover.
Yeah.
I
like the frog.
Yeah.
Boom. That's it for the $4 things.
Yeah, right. And we're going to hit up the next plushie wall here. And this is going to have even more than when we first hit up the first plushie section at the very front of the store. That case, we have a ton more up here. I don't believe Jigglypuff was up there at all. Slowpoke was, but I love showing him off again. He just looks so dumb.
You buy that, you buy a Shelter, you got yourself a Slowking plushie.
There you go. Oh my gosh.
There you go.
Whole bunch of Pokemon ones. Mew. Again, these are all like super high quality ones directly from Japan. Officially licensed ones, of course. This is one of my favorite. It's Cyndaquil, but he has like the fiery backside. Like it feels like kind of like a microfiber cloth. It's so nice.
So you could use it to clean your Switch screens if you really wanted to.
There you go. That's the cutest way to do it. And just like how high quality they are really shows off with the Lapras, I think. A really detailed Pokemon. Just looks awesome to me.
Even like the stitching for things like the eyebrows and stuff like that on them is very, very nice. They look great.
We got one Lucario left, and he's much bigger than the rest of them with a furry, that kind of microfiber chest there as well. Here's some of my favorite. I love Monster Hunter. I don't know if you've gotten into it yet. It's worth your time. It's an amazing series. But we got just a couple Monster Hunter plushies that are going to float around here.
I like this Kirby with the mallet right here. This is
there you go.
Pretty fantastic right there. Like he's got his headband, he's got his mallet, he's ready to rock.
And speaking of Kirby, I have these here. These are like Kirby coin pouches.
That's awesome.
So we got a Maxim Tomato, like a star block. We got a Kirby that's smiling. We got a Kirby that's inflated. We got a Meta Knight, and finally a Waddle Dee. And these, you see in them, I've put like kind of a Gachapon ball to display what they'll look like, all inflated. But they can, if needed, crush down to a small, convenient size. And they're nice, like kind of waterproof material with a nice little chain on them. So
put some fun stuff in there.
Yeah, very cute coin pouch for all your needs. Here's some Animal Crossing ones. We got Reese and Cyrus, Brewster. Forget his name.
I'm not sure.
Cap'n. Isabel, Kix, Tom Nook, Rover, and all right, you can't hate me for not knowing her name. Bunny. Yeah. Oh wow. Who could have guessed? All the way over here, getting back into some more obscure Mario guys.
This one is awesome. I love the Wizard Koopa, and like him with his little rod right here. That is an awesome plushie right there.
Absolutely. I do love the
Lakitu.
Lakitu, thank you. Yeah.
His little cloud.
Yeah, so devious with his spiny he's about to throw down. Also have Rosalina, Daisy, Peach. You can start collecting the whole Smash series right here.
And you can have a Yoshi of any color.
Oh, absolutely. We got an entire rainbow.
Rainbow of Yoshis.
All right, cool. So moving on from here, let's get back to some video games.
Yeah, video games are what we're here for.
Absolutely. Right over here, we have got a ton of original PlayStation games. Are you very familiar with the original PlayStation?
Oh, you better believe it.
Okay, thank God, because I played it a little bit growing up, but I again, Dreamcast, more my thing.
I understand, but yeah, it's PlayStation is it's one of those systems that there are some games that suffer from that weird, awkward. We're trying to grow into the we're changing from a 3D platform, from 2D platforming to 3D. But, there are some great games as well. I am a sucker
Bandicoot
for
series. I got literally every one of them.
I am a sucker for, the James Bond games. GoldenEye wasn't the only fun James Bond game. I find a lot of them to be a lot of fun. So...
literally every Crash Bandicoot game. Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, Warped. Bash, which is kind of like a Mario Party style game a little bit, and finally Crash Team Racing, that game that's being remade soon.
Yeah, a game that, deserves a remaster, so, when you play multiplayer, it isn't just the two people racing. Because that's, one of the worst things about it is that, like, when you race, it's just the two of you on the track, and that gets kind of boring after a while.
Oh, absolutely. Chocobo Dungeon. We got just plain old chess.
Chess.
How are you gonna beat chess? Oldest game in the
chess.
universe.
Awesome. Somebody just bought Final Fantasy VIII.
See you later,
love
Final
it.
Fantasy VIII. Nice knowing you.
That was my first Final Fantasy, so I will always have a soft spot. And I was an emo kid like Squall, so it worked out for me. Oh, Barbie Explorer. If you want Tomb Raider, but without, the busty chest. Well, I don't know. It is Barbie, so
Chrono Cross here.
the very odd sequel to Chrono Trigger.
Oh, here's one you've been playing lately, Dino Crisis.
Dino Crisis.
That's pretty good, right?
If you love Resident Evil games, you owe it to yourself to play the first Dino Crisis. I would love to see Capcom remaster that. It's essentially Resident Evil, but with dinosaurs instead. The worst thing about it, however, is that, the one thing that is different than Resident Evil is you're not allowed to save any of the notes. So when it comes to, writing down numbers for saves and stuff like that, you have to, you better pen and paper that stuff.
Alright, Dragon Warrior 7 is out of here. Nice knowing you, Dragon Warrior.
Metal Gear. See, alright, so $10 for those blue discs. Y'all, if you love Metal Gear, get those blue discs and just put them on display. One disc is Snake, one disc is Liquid. You want those games in your collection. You want those games on display.
This one just came in today. Evil Dead: Hail to the King.
I've never seen that one.
Final Fantasy 7.
Just the discs?
Final
Yeah.
Fantasy 9. Yeah, get yourself just the disc for $10 cheaper than the box itself. Final Fantasy 9, brand new and sealed. Final Fantasy Anthology, Chronicles, and Origins, and Tactics. Tactics, I'd say, there's so many great Final Fantasy games on the original PlayStation, but Tactics probably hooked me more than any of them.
Tactics is such a glorious Final Fantasy game. That weird turn-based, XCOM, but with Final Fantasy characters. You can put so many hours into that game and just have a great time.
The
playing
job
the
system,
different squads.
it really let you think about everything and really plan out your own unique way of playing it. Again, Metal Gear Solid must have on the PlayStation.
A 100% must have. Easily one of my favorite games of all time. Easily. So, had a lot of fun with the NASCAR games on
For
PlayStation.
real?
Yeah,
Okay.
just going backwards on the track. Seeing how fast, seeing how many laps you can survive going the wrong way while everybody's going the right way.
We all find our creative ways to make do with
The games
with the
that we
few
have,
games
yeah.
we could get back then, and that sounds like something exactly that I would have done. That's hilarious. Pocket Fighter just came in as well. That's pretty cool. Pocket Fighter, puzzle style Street Fighter game.
Some of the original Rainbow Six games, we're on the PlayStation, so I think this is actually the first one.
There you go.
Original Rainbow Six, go back to where it all started. It's this is the generation of games that needs to be remastered the most, because all they need to do is fix the clunky controls on a lot of these, and you have
Polish up them graphics a little bit.
you have way better playable games.
Oh, absolutely. Resident Evil Director's Cut just came in today as well.
Great game.
Saga Frontier 2, that's pretty cool. Razor Racing, oh baby.
Back when, hey, skateboarding's cool. Tony Hawk made it take off, so what do we need to do to make Razor scooters take off? Make
Video
a
game.
video
That's all I needed. Soul Blade down there. Speaking of, there's Stuart Little 2.
Yeah, that wonderful Michael J. Fox game.
What?
I guess. Yeah, Michael J. Fox was Stuart Little.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
I would imagine this is the era of games where they're we can make crap, we can just get the people to record lines for it.
Yeah, okay.
So, and we'll sell people on that instead.
Spyro Ripto's
Spyro?
Rage. Had a couple more this morning. They go fast, guys. The Spyro games don't ever last. Seems like Toy Story 2. Again, the Disney games. There was a good period when they were just amazing, and this is one of them too. Plays a lot kind of like a Banjo-Kazooie or Mario 64 style game, where you have a level with quite a few objectives, and you're just kind of open to figure out what you want to do in it. I definitely wouldn't put it up there with Mario 64, but it is in that same vein a little bit. Wild Thornberries, Animal Adventures, Wipeout. Now that's for real. Unironically, awesome game. Got to try Wipeout. And You Don't Know Jack. You know,
what
now
are you saying to me? Oh, it's the name of the game.
now these games are just blowing up with the Jackbox games. But
you know, I remember playing them back in the day, and then they were a lot of fun. So to see their resurgence, oh, that is a great game. If you like the Yu-Gi-Oh card game, my brother and I spent just hours and hours and hours in that Yu-Gi-Oh card game. Like, you can enter like codes that you can get on the internet for the various cards to build decks and stuff like that. It's very easy. And
thing
yes,
I like
all the disc only games are half off. Correct?
Not these ones.
Not these ones.
These ones are not. No, the ones coming up in just a minute are.
Just a minute. So
yeah. But yeah, the cool thing I like about the card games that are on like an actual console as opposed to a card game like, say, Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh! For real, is that you buy the game once and you have everything there.
Yeah.
The booster packs are earned within game. You don't have to earn them with time.
Yes,
life, you know?
yes, absolutely.
So right over here, we're moving on to the Japanese PS1 games and then getting on to the half-off disc-only games, which come up in just 1 second here. But just a few Japanese PS1 games I'll go through really quickly.
Bomberman World. Ooh, there's a good one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Bomberman World, Dragon Ball Ultimate Bout, or Ultimate Battle 22, and there's Final Bout. Excuse me, I mixed the two names together. Both cool fighting games for the PS1. The PS1 is region locked, unfortunately, but there are ways around it, and I'm sure you guys will figure that out.
So I believe, don't quote me on this, but every single PS3 plays PS1 games practically.
That's right.
And I believe that most PS3s are region free, so you should be able to play these in your PlayStation.
I don't remember that. maybe. Jammer Lammy, there we go. That's a cool
I'll
cover.
Have to check it out.
Oh my god.
And find out.
That is a super cool cover. I love that. Also got Tekken, and is that Vampire Savior at the bottom? This is where a lot of the characters that you may know from Marvel vs. Capcom 2. See you later, Jammer. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 come from this game. It's Morgan, and I forget the mummy's name, and BB Hood, etc., Felicia. That is just a totally iconic game that has gone overlooked for the most part. So now we're getting into some serious business here. So this is a deal that we run every single Twitch shopping network. We have these disc-only games, and unlike like GameStop, we do distinguish. Like if a game doesn't have its box art, we are going to price it at a lower price point. You know, a box is worth something to us, and the manual and etc. So these are all already lower priced than our normal box games. Well, just for the Twitch shopping network that we're doing right now and once per month, these are all half off. So anything you see, go ahead and cut the price that you see straight up in half, and you'll be getting it for that. And there are some amazing ones that I will point out in just a moment.
You'll be able to get some great deals from these walls, friends.
Red Faction, that was a great game at the time. That was like known for its destructive environments and being
go through walls.
Literally, yeah, just blow them down. That was mind-blowing on the PS2. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, so great. Burnout Revenge.
Yeah.
50 cents for Guitar Hero 2. Why not use it as a coaster?
Yeah,
Fanciest coaster around for 50 cents.
Yeah, you can get Constantine, with Keanu Reeves in it for $2.
There you
That's
go.
incredible. Devil May Cry for $2.50. Now that is a bet.
Dark Cloud for $4.
Ooh, that's
No
a good
joke,
RPG,
that's a good
yeah.
one. Kingdom Hearts. Interested in the third one? Well, here's the first for $5.
Yeah, start with the first one before it gets all confusing.
Which happens almost immediately.
Yep.
Dragon Ball Tenkaichi 2, Dynasty Wars Gundam 2. What the heck? That came out on PS2?
I guess so.
Okay. Alright, news to me. Gundam Federation vs. Xeon. Wow. I didn't even know some of these were here. This is amazing, guys. We're all learning things right now. Over here at the top, I'm just going to go over some of the PS4 and Xbox One games. We don't have a whole lot of them, but if you are interested, it's a lot of like kind of sports games, but they're cool. Sniper Elite, those are a lot of fun. Mafia 3, I enjoyed quite a bit. Only $4 for an Xbox One game. That's a steal.
Goodness.
For Mafia 3, absolute steal. Alright, right here we got some PS3 games.
Little Iron Man action for you.
Here we go. Saints Row the Third. That one is awesome. Grand Theft Auto on, Helium. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Grand
Total
Theft
joke.
Auto, if they want you to like actually have fun in the missions instead of doing exactly what they want you to.
Yeah. Skate. I am a huge fan of skateboarding games, and this is amazing. For $3, you'd be crazy. If you've never played Skate, give it a shot. If you didn't like Tony Hawk for how ridiculous it is, I still think you're crazy, but give Skate a shot. It's a lot more realistic.
Yeah, it's a lot more grounded of a skateboarding game than the Tony Hawk games were. So it really relies a whole lot on like you kind of doing the tricks in the right kind of motions, which
It's
which
so
was
rewarding.
fun. Yeah,
You know, just a simple trick, which in Tony Hawk would be worth nothing, and Skate is very rewarding. Tony Hawk was more about those big arcadey combos.
infamous games, solid PS3 games.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, Ninja Gaiden Black for $5. That's a good deal.
There you go. All right, so here we're moving on to the Wii, and just a couple original Xbox titles here. And right away, one of you guys might notice we have Marvel vs. Capcom 2 here, a very, very uncommon Xbox game. Usually $32, right this second, 16. So we only have one
There
of
you
those,
go.
so you better message quick. That's
Yeah.
that's a killer
That'll
deal.
probably go, yeah. Quickly.
Here's one that I always hear every single customer who's interested in Xbox stuff say: Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay. Never seen the movie. Always thought it looked weird. But this, I hear, is one of the best games on the original Xbox, like, by far.
I am such a sucker for the Riddick movies. And
Okay, you know.
so I've not played the game. It's a first-person game, and it's on my list of games to play. But Vin Diesel is oddly like passionate. Like when he made the Fast and Furious movies, he's just like, I'll make 3 more of these Fast and Furious movies, but you have to let me make another Riddick movie. So
Nice. Okay.
yeah, I like how passionate he is about the project, and I like the science fiction of it. So I can definitely see it being a fun game.
Knights of the Old Republic here is also compatible with your Xbox One, and one of the best BioWare RPGs like ever. That's what I hear.
I love Star Wars. I grew up a Star Wars kid. It is easily one of the best Star Wars games, if not the best Star Wars game in existence. Like, other games are fun, but like, man, you get to like feel like you're becoming a Jedi. You feel like you become a Force user, and just the system of the game is absolutely awesome. It is 100% worth playing.
Nice. And at only $5.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Right over here, Army of Two. I'm a big fan of couch co-op games. And
Yeah.
there aren't a lot of them on this generation and in going forward, but the Army of Two game's definitely worth a shot. Literally, as the title states, you are a two-man army, and it is a ton of fun, especially co-op. Batman Arkham City, that one was great if you've never
classic,
played it.
yeah.
Absolutely. Grand Theft Auto 4, Dead Rising.
So
I believe that's also
getting
what's
that
it-
copy of Grand Theft Auto 4 is also very important, because if you buy that game on Steam, you're not getting the original soundtrack anymore.
Oh, good
because
point.
of licensing
Okay.
rights, they have lost a lot of the music. So having those discs can be very important, especially if you don't run any of the updates, because you've lost music now, which is unfortunate, because it's
That's a good point.
the original, it's what they intended. So
Red Dead Redemption here, that is also compatible on the Xbox One. If you enjoyed Red Dead Redemption 2, or maybe you plan on playing it,
Yeah,
it's
$4.
interesting because Red Dead Redemption is actually a sequel to Red Dead Redemption 2.
yeah,
So,
you get to see how
pick it up and
everything turns out for John in the end.
So right over here, moving on. Again, I really am a big fan of couch co-op games, and Resident Evil 5, although I've heard nothing but complaints from
Resident Evil
from Resident Evil fans, it is a great co-op game. That's the way I approached it, and I had a great time with it. I believe that one, I'm 99% sure, is also compatible with the Xbox One. Star Wars Force Unleashed, talk about feeling like a Jedi.
Yep.
Like you are just like...
man, those games were also very, those were they were like, yeah, we're taking the RPG elements out of this. So if you ever played Jedi Academy, that's like also one of my favorite Star Wars games.
There's another you don't know Jack, and at the very bottom, Your Shape Fitness Evolved 2012. I mean, fitness hasn't evolved a whole lot.
It is the new year.
It is the new year.
You need to get started on your New Year's resolution of feeling better or whatever.
Right over here we have a couple GameCube disc-only games too, and those are also eligible for half off. Namco Museum only $2.50. DDR Mario. The pad is a little tough to find, but get started with the game for only $3.
Enter the Matrix, the strange,
very
somewhat
strange
sequel, but not quite sequel to the Matrix that takes place in between the other two very aloof sequels.
Tony Hawk Underground, possibly my favorite game of all time, for $3.50 on your GameCube. And moving on here, we have PlayStation Portable games. These are all the UMD onlys. These ones are not eligible for the half-off deal, but we're going to show off the UMD games and then move on to the inbox PSP games and then come back to these Vita games. Although if you do see them in your periphery, feel free to shout out DSKoopa checkout, and they will go ahead and cut some of those down for you. So here we go. There's just so many of these here.
I've got some Harvest Moon action going on, some ATV, Madden, Cabela's, ooh yeah, and then we got
Bust a Move,
Coded
that one's
Arms,
great.
yeah. Dissida, there you go. Some fighting games.
Oh, and Disgaea too. There you go. Awesome tactics game. Tony Hawk Underground 2 Remix.
Yeah, Crisis Core.
The remix, Tony Hawk Underground 2 Remix is straight up a Tony Hawk like PlayStation 2 game, but on your PlayStation Portable. It's awesome. Monster Hunter, Freedom 2. That's what really saved the PSP in Japan.
Ooh, Star Wars Battlefront on the PS.
Absolutely.
On the PSP.
I almost completely missed this, but Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker.
Oh yeah.
The one mainline canon game for the PlayStation Portable. Oh, and at the very bottom, I don't want to forget about this. We got Ys, the Ark of Nepotism. Nepotism.
Yeah, the PSP was a great system. PSP was a very, very good system.
Let's see. And then a couple complete in-box games right over here.
Ooh, some Dynasty Warriors action.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with them. They're a little mindless, but very fun and very addictive.
You know, just when you've got a little brother, too, it's just like smashing through hordes of enemies with your friends. You can't go wrong.
Absolutely not. And also, Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories plays a lot like the PlayStation 2, Grand Theft Auto 3. And right over here, Nights in the Nightmare. This one's pretty unique. Atlas title. That's usually a good sign. Not always, but this one here is a tactics game that's also a mix of a bullet hell shoot 'em up.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Down Kingdom Hearts action for you.
Oh, yes, Birth by Sleep. That's kind of the missing link in my Kingdom Hearts knowledge.
Yeah.
Lord of Arcana, there you go. I don't know anything that's going on with Birth by Sleep. I hopefully need to catch up before Kingdom Hearts 3 finally comes out.
I mean, I think if you start now, you might be able to catch up.
You know, I just never thought it would actually happen, so I put it off for so long.
14 years later. You had 14 years and now it's coming down to the last days.
Yeah. There you go. X-Men Origins Wolverine, Valkyrie Profile Lenneth, and then Star Wars Battlefront 2. Those are the standout titles to me, although I have not played every single one of these. Hopefully you guys will be able to pick some of those up. Let's head on back over to the Vita wall.
Vita wall.
And a lot of these games are the limited run games. Are you familiar with limited run?
I am familiar with limited run.
Awesome. If you could do me a favor and just talk down the line of these Vita games really quick, I will be right back.
Yep. So Limited Run, for those of you who don't know, is a company that finds indie games or games that are, you know, relatively uncommon, and they decide that they are going to put out a limited series of them. So they buy them and then they put them out here, and they don't really sell them for a markup or anything. They just they simply want you to be able to get them in-house instead of getting them from the website, because they sell out pretty fast. So. Very fun indie games, but also, you know, some more, you know, bigger titles, Little Big Planet and stuff like that. Mod Nation Racers. A lot of Japanese titles as well, I believe they have. Oh, we're getting to the Japanese titles. Army Corps of Hell. I don't know.
Sounds intense.
Yeah, it does. God Eater. Man. First there's a game about hell, and now there's like God eating. Now it's just like Heaven's Last Quest. Oh, Ragnarok, that's also about, that's essentially the apocalypse, so...
Soul sacrifice. These games need to chill out.
Alright, yeah, it's the battle for your damnation, apparently.
This one's Tokiden, which is basically Monster Hunter with demons.
Oh, that sounds
Tokiden
fun.
2, the sequel.
Oh,
So,
more demons.
There you go. Give it a shot. We just have a couple cartridge-only games up here. God of War, the collection up there. Madden 13, Persona 4 Golden. What is this? Arcana Hearts Max 3, FIFA 15, and PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. We also have chargers, memory cards, etc. If you're interested in any kind of accessories for your PlayStation Portable or PlayStation Vita, or really any console at all, please just message and just assume we have it. We don't have everything, but we pretty much have everything as far as accessories go. So right now I'd like to cover the PlayStation 2, original Xbox, Xbox 360, and PS3 games. Those are very common games, and these ones, prices do vary quite a bit, but you can expect a majority of them to be under $10, between $10 and $2 mostly. So we'll just kind of go through those really quick, and I know you guys can't see all the prices on these. And again, if you are curious about a price, do message DSKoopa checkout. Ask them about it. Ask them if it has the manual. We got you covered. We want to make sure that you're all taken care of. Right away, I see a pretty good collection. It's Dot Hack 1, 2, and 3. That series is very tough to come across, very popular.
Ooh, and the art even crosses all three covers too.
Doesn't that look awesome?
Yeah.
Atelier Iris is cool. Bad Boys Miami Takedown is hilarious.
I can imagine. So Black, I remember Black being very popular when the PlayStation came out.
Yes. Burnout 3 Takedown. I probably played this more than any other racing game ever.
We got, if you're curious, we got Curious George for you. Can play as the man in the yellow hat, maybe? I don't know. Oh, I guess you get to play as George instead.
That's a deal breaker.
Yep.
Capcom Classics Collection here, which has Street Fighter 2, Ghosts and Goblins, Legendary Wings, Bionic Commando, Forgotten Worlds, Ghosts and Ghouls, Section Z, 1942, Mercs, Commando, Exiles, Gunsmoke, San, and Final Fight. That is a crazy collection. That's like, 14 games?
Yeah, they used to put out great collections of games, and then they realized that they could put them on the marketplace for...
Individually, yeah. I just realized that all those I listed, it says plus 8 more.
Oh, plus 8 more.
Okay, so $12 for like 100 games.
Yeah. You got all your Final Fantasies, your Final Fantasy X, which was the first game to ever, or the first Final Fantasy to feature full-on voice acting, so you can laugh at the laughing scene between Tidus and Yuta. We got Final Fantasy X2, which has one of the best job systems of any Final Fantasy, but the worst possible story. And then Final Fantasy 13, which is the biggest 12, which is like the biggest grind simulator ever. Like some of those one of the boss fights literally takes 45 minutes.
Dang.
And then you've got the oddball,
Dirge of Cerberus. I remember a friend of mine really loving this one.
It is the Devil May Cry of the
Final Fantasy
universe. Yeah, it came out around the same time as Advent Children, so all of the cutscenes are using those sweet, sweet graphics of Advent Children.
Fire Pro Wrestling on the PS2.
No, 10-2 has the worst story. 10-2 has the worst story.
Absolutely.
Full Metal... No, I didn't play the first of those games, but I did play the second one, and I remember having a lot of fun with how they do the transmutations and stuff like that in it. Very fun.
Here we are with Gradius 3 and 4 in one pack. Awesome game. Pretty tough to find. Yeah. It's one that gets requested in the store a lot.
Yeah, that one's a little bit more expensive. That one was $32.
The whole entire series of Grand Theft Auto.
And this is I'm not sure exactly. I think it is... There's two different types of this one because they got upset that there was a phallic item in one of the police bathrooms. So the game actually got recalled.
Did it really get recalled for that? That's insane.
It did, yeah, because people were so up in arms about it. So there is a sanitized version, which does not include the thing that you can use to beat cops to death, which people were very upset about. Oh, Kingdom Hearts Chain of
There
Memories.
we
I didn't
go.
even know that was on the PS2.
Yeah, so it's a 3D version of the card game that came out on the Game Boy Advance. Pretty cool because it adds cutscenes and a little bit of 3D animation to your game. King of Fighters Maximum Impact, a game that's always had a soft spot for me. The King of Fighters titles. I always loved Terry Bogard, but I don't know. It's never risen to that huge scale that it's needed to join the fighting game community. It seems like the Lego games. This is where they all started, and now they're massively awesome, super popular
they
games.
saved Lego too, which is pretty crazy to think about. So these games are not half off. That was only the disc-only games. So we're back to just regular price stuff, but everything is pretty reasonable.
Mega Man Anniversary Collection and X Collection. There we go.
Very nice.
I mean, Mega Man 10 alone or X alone is worth it. And Metal Saga, it's a good one too.
Then getting into your NASCAR and your
Oh
NBA,
yeah, they got
and your
every sports game.
NCAAs.
Any sports game you could possibly imagine, we got it here. Need for Speed Underground, Hot Pursuit, Carbon. Oh baby.
The Onimusha games, which the first one is about to get its HD remake pretty soon here, which is awesome because I always enjoyed those games. Kind of like a more samurai-based Resident Evil game.
PopCap hits, Bejeweled, Astropop, Heavy Weapon, and Zuma. All those old school games that probably have new versions now. But
yeah.
I don't really see them anymore. Psychonauts, that's a great one.
Classic.
Oh, Pacific Theater Operation. This is a super crazy tactics battleship game. Really cool. Cool unknown series, it seems like. Red Faction 2, I mentioned that earlier. And then Ring of Red, this one just came in today.
Code Veronica, one of the hardest Resident Evils.
Oh, did I just pass right over that?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Tell me about Code Veronica.
If you leave a fire extinguisher in a metal detector box instead of your actual box, you're going to have a real hard time at the end of the game. Rogue Galaxy.
We got SpongeBob SquarePants the movie. Believe it or not, I hear every SpongeBob game from this generation is actually great.
Is that right?
Yes. Shadow of the Colossus, Total Collector, Sega Superstars. What's this?
Just a bunch of Sega games.
Oh, is this like an iToy game? Yeah, it is.
Oh, weird.
Okay. I want to play that now.
Yeah, Shadow of the Colossus, a classic PS2 game.
Shining Force Exa, this is another one that just came in today. Really a good day for anime games. So many great ones just came in today. Sly Cooper, Sly 1, 2, and 3 we have. Oh my gosh, nice. And the Sonic Mega Collection. I keep stopping at all these collections because I'm so curious what's on them. But we got 1, 2, 3, Knuckles, 3D Blast, Spinball, and Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. I think that's literally every Genesis game, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure that you can unlock the Sonic CD as well. There's a bunch of hidden games on that collection as well, because that's the same as the GameCube Mega Collection.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay.
Got yourself some Spawn action. I played a little bit of that Spawn game. It's actually not too bad.
Spawn Armageddon.
Spawn Armageddon, yeah.
For only $5, it's worth a shot. Soundtrack includes Use Your Fist and Not Your Mouth by Marilyn Manson. It's a good life lesson for everyone.
Yeah.
The Splinter Cell titles over here. Usually attributed to the Xbox, but they did also come out in the PS2. Give them a shot. They're great stealth games. Once you've exhausted every Metal Gear game 10 times over, give Splinter Cell a shot. It's good. It's good too. Come on. Star Wars Battlefront, Star Wars Starfighter, The Suffering. If you're feeling very hardcore about your third-person shooters.
Tenshu also look great. There were a couple of those on the PlayStation 1 as well, and they brought them to the PS2.
Let's see here.
Thunderstrike.
The Tokyo Extreme Racer Drift games. It's really fun. And here's my section right here, the Tony Hawk section. 3, 4, and Underground. Total classics everybody should have in their collection. Very affordable prices on those. And then American Wasteland, not the worst game in the world, but...
That's where they lost me, when they tried to, put a story in it. It's just like,
Yeah, that happened in Underground too, but the levels make up so much for it. And then Project 8 there. It's kind of in the long...
Zone of Enders, second runner. The only reason I bought the first Zone of Enders was, like most kids, I wanted the Metal Gear Solid 2 demo that came with it.
Yeah, that's their trick. They got you that way.
That's how they got everybody to buy Zone of the Enders the first time, I think.
And this is a little bit of a looking ahead, but we do have Xenosaga 1, 2, and actually over there in our rare case, we do have Xenosaga 3, which actually for the first Twitch Shopping Network ever, we will be covering a small portion of the rare case. Usually it's something we leave alone for our local customers to have at, but we did section off a good part of it to everybody. Yeah. Everyone wants to have a crack at it.
A nice collection of games to show you today.
Absolutely. Right here we have original Xbox titles. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2. Is that? No, that's not exclusive to Xbox, but one of the standout Xbox titles. We also have that Capcom Classics collection I just told you, the one with about 1 trillion games on it, for only, what, $11?
What a deal.
Crazy Taxi 3. This is back when Sega was working with Xbox. You know, they had the Panzer Dragoon game that came out, Jet Set Radio Future, Crazy Taxi 3. They had all these games that were coming out exclusively to the Xbox.
I don't think I've ever played the third Crazy Taxi.
Me neither. I'm really curious about how this one works.
Yeah,
Vegas it's got to be very similar
for it. You know.
Fable, Total Classic, and also Fable Lost Chapters.
Yeah, very fun games that go throughout the eras.
I remember someone specifically, before the stream started, was asking about Gun Valkyrie, and we do have it. Of course, every Halo game as well we do have.
Shocking. Wait, you've got the Halo games for Xbox? Were those popular or something?
I also hear all of the Lord of the Rings titles from this era are great.
Great, especially for games being based off movies. I'm very surprised at how much fun they are.
Here's a great one. If you like Diablo,
yes,
and you like Marvel, give this a shot. It's great.
The Ultimate Alliance games, especially that first one, there's so much great Marvel lore in that. You know, Winter Soldier pops up in that. Everybody pops up in that first Ultimate Alliance game. It's a great dungeon crawler to play with your friends.
Metal Gear Solid 2, which I frequently forget came out on the original Xbox.
Yeah, there's an incredible amount of lag at the beginning because of how they the rain bounces off of Snake, and it was very particular to the PlayStation's hardware as to how they were able to accomplish it. So the Xbox actually was not as powerful and could not handle it. So you'll notice quite a bit of lag in the rain sequence. Because the raindrops are actually a part of Snake's character model.
For real? Okay.
And so the water bouncing off of Snake is actually popping out of his character model.
That's very interesting. You know, in most cases, the Xbox is the way to play. If you have your choice between a PS2 or Xbox game that are cross-platform, I would normally recommend you go with the Xbox because, it was just more powerful hardware back in the day. But that's kind of an interesting, weird standout there. Simpsons Road Rage is great. Just passed right over it, but Shrek 2.
Oh, yeah.
Right here we got Star Wars Battlefront 2, also compatible with your Xbox One. All these Star Wars games are really great. Nice. We got Knights of the Old Republic 2 came in today. Awesome.
Very cool.
Street Fighter Anniversary Collection, which has
another collection. You're all about the collection.
I know. They speak to me. I'm like Super Monkey Ball Deluxe. That one's pretty uncommon. Another Tenchu, and then Tony Hawk's Underground 2. That's kind of sort of the definitive version of Tony Hawk, and when I say that, I'm speaking about the Tony Hawk engine. That's kind of where it reached its peak. The levels and story certainly wasn't at its top there, but just the way the game played was at its perfection on Tony Hawk Underground 2. All right. Did you play a lot of PlayStation 3?
Yes, I have.
Awesome. You can point out some of the better PlayStation 3 games here, because while the PlayStation 3 was out, I was playing on Xbox for the most part.
Gotcha. I mean, everything that you'll find on PlayStation 3 is pretty much going to play the same as the Xbox 360.
But they do have all these like standout games,
Yes.
like these Atelier games. I hear these are like kind of Alchemist style games.
Those are the
whatever
games that
means.
I have not touched. So, but I mean, the PlayStation 3 had a great lineup of games as well. And I mean, so as far as like the one thing that does have the leg up on Xbox is like all the games that require 2 discs for your Xbox version are only going to require 1 version because you got that sweet Blu-ray action going on. So you message DSKoopa checkout if you would like anything. Don't worry if we don't get back to you right away, but we will hopefully get those orders going for you. So here's a great one, Demon Souls.
Oh, baby.
The precursor to the Dark Souls series. It was their first attempt at it, and it is hard, it is difficult, it is aloof, but it is a very fun game to get through. So I definitely recommend checking that out. That's an exclusive to the PS.
Nice. Earth Defense Force. I hear nothing but good reviews about these titles.
Oh yeah. That's one of those like love to hate kind of games.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Yeah, people, best worst games. The evil within. Fallout 3, however, better to play on the Xbox 360.
For whatever reason, they all seem to work better on the 360. But either way, it's a must-play game in my book. It's one of my favorite series ever.
You got to play the God of War games,
Oh,
and I mean
yes.
you can get them on the PlayStation 2, but they look great on the PS3, especially God of War 3. It definitely pushes the PlayStation 3 to its limits. It's an absolutely gorgeous game.
You got Heavy Rain. That was a very interesting exclusive to the PlayStation 3. It's kind of like more like an interactive movie.
It's one of those David Cage games, so you're going to be making some choices and stuff like that. And I messed up the last sequence and was just like, I'm not playing this ever again, and sold it the next day. So this, if you've got one of those old-fangled 3D TVs, you can actually play the games in full 3D.
Nice. Wow.
With this collection, which I actually had the opportunity to check out, and it was a lot of fun getting to play Shadow of the Colossus in 3D. Oh, this came out on the Switch recently.
Go. Oh no!
Well, not Katamari Forever, but Katamari Damacy in general. Has re-rolled itself onto the PS3 or onto the Switch now, so it's nice seeing those games back.
This is the one I've never played, and I always really wanted to. Oh my gosh!
I think it's just the original, but looks better.
For real? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh! This is Oh man, it looks so beautiful. Sorry, I'm in awe of the game. Last of Us. This was the game that convinced me to finally buy a PS3.
Yes.
Yeah.
My PS3 died to that game because it pushed it so hard. So.
Yeah, it looked otherworldly. I was like, I can't believe the game PS3 can do this.
If you haven't played The Last of Us, you owe it to yourself to pick that game up. So
Here we are, Metal Gear fans. We've got them all. Metal Gear 4, Ground Zeroes, Phantom Pain, and Rising Revengeance, which is sort of a Metal Gear game.
I'm a huge Metal Gear fan. Metal Gear Solid is one of my favorite games. Metal Gear Solid 4 was the reason that I bought when I got my PS4. I bought it specifically to play that when it came out, and not a moment before. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4, great game to play on the PS4.
Oh, here we go. This one just came in today as well. Nier. Very cool.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a fan of
original
Automata.
Nier.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And also Ni no Kuni, another exclusive to the PlayStation 3, Wrath of the White Witch. And
No More Heroes coming to the Switch in, not these games, but the next in the No More Heroes games is going to be coming to the Switch in about 2 weeks here. So
nice.
If you want to get caught up on what Travis Touchdown's been up to, they're Suda51 games, so they're just wacky and wild and out there. So I recommend them. I think they're fun. So
we also got Persona 4 Arena and Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. The only fun fact I know about these games, actually one of the guys here was like a top, 40, 30 player at EVO for this game here, Ultimax. And only thing I know about it is one of the few region-locked games for the PS3.
Oh,
The
interesting.
PS3 in general, you can play Japanese games, or European, whatever. That is a few game that you cannot play. exclusively. But it's an awesome fighting game. It has like a unique art style and everything. Ratchet and Clank, Rayman games.
Never got into the Resistance games, but those were very big PS3 titles when they originally came out.
Awesome first-person shooter style. Oh, Sengoku Basara? Yeah, this one just came in too. It's cool. Oh, Skate 3, man. Now, this is my game. Oh, my gosh.
Now, that, like, I still think Skate 2 was the best of the three, but Skate 3 has some great areas to skate around in. Just like Skate 2, you can finally get off your board, which is nice. And that was the one problem with Skate 1, was that you couldn't get off. But Skate 2 and 3, just solid games. It's so crazy to think that, like, the first Toy Story game that we saw was on the Sega and the Super Nintendo, and now here we are, PS3, and hey, Toy Story 3.
There he goes. It just keeps going.
Yeah, I mean, we looked at Toy Story 1 on the Super Nintendo, we looked at Toy Story 2 on the PlayStation, and now PlayStation 3. Not PlayStation 2, but PlayStation 3. We're getting, Toy Story games. That's crazy to think that those movies have had that longevity to them.
Just came in as well. The older ones here. Zone of the Enders HD collection, and continuing the trend of Zone of the Enders.
That's so great, yeah.
Demo of Metal Gear Rising, and
hey, how do we sell this? We gotta put a Metal Gear game with it.
Right here we have just a few Japanese games. What is this? Chaos Child? Whoa, that looks weird. That looks interesting. Chaos Child, Dora. Oh, Dragon Ball, Raging Blast, Dynasty Warriors 6, FIFA 12, F1, Everybody's Golf, aka I actually forget what it's called in America.
Everybody's
Hot Shots Golf.
Oh, Hot Shots Golf.
Yeah. And then a couple unique baseball games that never came over here. All right. Moving on to the Xbox 360 games. This was more my jam, and I could talk a lot about these here. Alan Wake was one of those kind of unique ones to the system. I would compare this. This was kind of their answer a little bit to Heavy Rain, although not the same. It was a very story-driven game.
It's by the people who did Max Payne at Remedy Studios, which is awesome. So it features a pretty unique mechanic as far as you have to, like burn your enemies with light before being able to kill them, and it's got a lot of great references to shows like Twin Peaks and anything that's kind of got that occult mysticism thing going on here. So, Bioshock 2, great games to have on any console.
Oh, Blue Dragon. Now, this was exclusive to the Xbox 360. One of the few RPGs it did have. This was 4 discs. Enormous game, and you might recognize the art style as Akira Toriyama's art style there. Blaze Blue. 3 Blaze Blue titles. These are awesome, like crazy 2D anime fighter games.
Oh, the Chronicles. Oh, here's the second Riddick game.
There you go.
Yeah, Escape from Butcher Bay. Or there's Escape from Butcher Bay was the first one, so Assault on Dark Athena is the second one.
Here's one that this is one of the few games I got literally every achievement in. Bully Scholarship Edition. So good. Please give us Bully 2, am I right?
I recently went back and played that game. There's a couple of weird missions in it, and the one thing that honestly bothers me the most about that game is, like, every audio track is, like, a minute long. And so it's just, like, everything just has these awful loops to it.
Oh, no.
Deadpool, fun game,
I heard it's hilarious.
Yeah. They did a pretty fun job with it.
Dragon Ball Z for Connect. Fight for real in front of your TV.
Ooh, yeah.
Oblivion,
nothing wrong could happen with that.
Oblivion Game of the Year Edition, including the DLC, which I think kind of set the standard for DLCs at the time.
Man, I cannot tell you how many hours I put into Oblivion on the Xbox 360.
Same.
That was like the big selling point for me was when that came to it, because I didn't have a computer at the time that could handle Oblivion. So being able to play it on the 360 was like, yeah, this is worth picking it up for. Ghostbusters, the game, I wasn't too bad until the very end of the game, and then you had to smash a gate using ghosts, and I was just like, I want you through this game.
I hear the poor Ghostbusters fans that go so neglected.
Yeah.
It was I've heard nothing but good things about the title. So That's good to hear.
Yeah, it was fun busting some ghosts.
Every Halo game you could imagine here. Halo 3 ODST, 4 Combat Evolved, Reach, Wars, and Wars. And they all work on your Xbox One as well. Infinite Undiscovery, I think this was a... I'm pretty sure this is a 360 exclusive. It may not have been, but...
oh, well, we'll find out, right? Only on the 360.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Infinite Undiscovery, sure enough. Speaking of 360 exclusives, somebody please buy Kinect Adventures from us, please. For the love of God, someone please buy that. We have about 300 copies. Right over here, LA Noire is great. Lego Batman. All the Lego games are great. And Let's Cheer.
Yeah.
This
Battle for Middle Earth.
Our very
RTS,
very first Twitch stream we did. Twitch Shopping Network stream we did. We got about 30 requests for this game, and only one person got it. So we have one copy again.
Yeah, very fun.
Oh God,
RTS.
I can't fit it in. Thank you. Lost Odyssey, another 4-disc game for the 360. A lot of content there to be had. There's again Marvel Ultimate Alliance, the Mass Effect trilogy there. 1, 2, and 3, totally awesome.
Max Payne 3, totally underrated game. I loved the Max Payne games, and I think 3 was just as good as the other ones. And it just didn't get the love that the other ones got. As far as Rockstar games, too, it kind of flopped.
yeah, that's what I always hear. It's strange. Orange Box. I mean, you can't go wrong with this. You got Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, Half-Life 2 Episode 2, the original Portal, and Team Fortress 2, which the last time I checked, which was about a week or two ago, Team Fortress 2 on 360 still works. Believe it or not.
Well, I mean, that's kind of odd, and because I remember buying it because I wanted to play it, and never really getting games to work on it.
Red Dead Redemption Special Edition. What's the special? Oh, it has like extra content.
Outfit,
there we go.
But the Orange Box was the first place to ever play Portal. So if you want the if you want the original Portal game, you got to get the Orange Box.
Here we are with Skate again and Skate 3. This Skate 3 is compatible on your Xbox One. That's how I've been playing it recently. And actually, the EA recently turned the online servers back on for it, so you can play it online as well. Tales of Vesperia, I know this one's coming out as a remake for, I think, the Switch and possibly Xbox One. But, yeah, Tales, the one oddball Tales game that I hear is actually really great.
I played that Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions game.
Oh, yeah.
Not a bad Spider-Man game.
There you go.
You get to play as Miguel Hernandez, who is the Spider-Man from Spider-Man 2099, which is, a fun little thing. And it's not an open-world Spider-Man game. It's actually a game that takes place more indoors, which, is very rare for that time, considering how popular the open-world Spider-Man games were.
All right, moving on here, we are going to go check out some of the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, all your handheld needs right here. So many of these. I grew up with the Game Boy myself. I had that big fat brick, and then I upgraded to the Pocket, which I could, just as the commercials advertised, I could sneak in a couple games at school, which is a lot of fun. Did you have a lot of fond memories of Game Boy growing up?
My best friend in elementary school, who was poorer than I was, gave me his Game Boy Pocket just because we were friends, and it was one of the coolest things ever. This was long before Pokemon, and he's just like, yeah, I don't use it, so you can have it. And my mom worked a weird job where I wasn't I couldn't go home after school, so I had to go to my mom's windowless office and stay in this room out of sight, and the only thing I had was this Game Boy. And so, yeah, it saved me. It saved me from going absolutely nuts. So,
did you have Tetris, Mario Land,
Tetris, and Mortal Kombat 2?
There you go.
Yeah, was about it. So,
you will notice quite a few of these games here are Japanese games. However, they do work on the American Game Boy. There's no regional locking, and also a lot of them again are straight up in English, which is really cool. And also, again, I would like to emphasize our replacement of the save batteries on every single game, even weird ones here, like we got Dinosaur, whatever Dinosaur is. Mickey's Racing, Mission Impossible, all of them are going to get those. And you might be like, hey, where are the Pokemon at? Don't worry, we're getting there. They're down here in this case.
We got to protect those a little bit more. So, it's not as valuable as Jeff Gordon's X5 Racing.
Yeah.
Look at those sweet 90s sunglasses. I mean, isn't that worth it just for those sweet shades? And now,
and more worth it, Rush 2049 right over here. Pick that up instead.
Now, the more clear ones are Game Boy Color games that we're getting into. So
yes, and this is where things get a little tricky. It's kind of nice the way Nintendo set it up, but they didn't really advertise it to everyone. If you see a clear Game Boy game here, that means it's not going to work on your original Game Boy. If you see a black Game Boy game here, that is going to work on the original Game Boy. Otherwise, you are going to need a Game Boy Color or a Game Boy Advance. It's the interesting tip I tell customers all the time. If you have a Game Boy Advance, you can play anything called Game Boy.
Yeah.
Not kidding, literally anything.
That's why Game Boy Advances are such great little systems.
Oh, yes.
For many, many reasons, actually.
Right down here, before I get to the kind of massive advanced games here, I'm going to go over the Game Boy and Game Boy Color games that are a little more sought after. We got Extra Bases, that's a little uncommon, Atomic Park, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Red, Pokemon Yellow, Super Mario Land, Road Rash, and Yoshi. It has been a crazy day for people picking up these titles, so they've gone quick. We also have Donkey Kong Country. Funny enough, sort of a remake of the SNES version. It even has those similar style graphics, just downplayed a bit for the Game Boy Color. Godzilla the Series Monster Wars. Now, I remember that.
I love Godzilla. They still need to make a good Godzilla game.
Oracle of Ages, Pokemon Gold, Silver. Now that's where it's at. I mean, a lot of people are what I'd call Gen 1ers.
Yeah.
And
I'm one of those people,
There's nothing wrong with Gen 1, but Gen 2 is where it's at. You go back to Gen 1, that's amazing.
You get the full Kanto region at the end of it. That's like, oh my god, it's like 2 full games, but... Man, it's just like, there's just too many Pokemon eventually. There's just too many of them.
Alright, here's some of the Game Boy Advance titles here.
Game Boy Advance, essentially a Super Nintendo for your hands. If you want to talk about Nintendo history, they would have waited until the Game Boy Advance to put out the Super Nintendo if Sega hadn't come along, really. They
really pushed them to it, you think?
I mean, oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, think about how long they even made regular Nintendo games. They made regular Nintendo games up until 1994. And it was because they were kind of, unchallenged in the handheld market that they were able to hold off so long. But they do finally release it, and it has some of the best games out there, especially for the handheld. You've got some great Castlevanias on it with Aria of Sorrow and Harmony of Dissonance. Almost all the movie games. There are some great movie games on the Game Boy Advance that are completely different than the movie versions of any other, or the game versions of any other movie. It really is. The Yu-Gi-Oh games, once again, very, very fun to have the full card game, in the handheld version. Just a great library of games.
And yeah, there's so many Yu-Gi-Oh titles available for the Game Boy Advance as well. They must have just been massively popular. Triple X, now that's a throwback. I also noticed here we have Tekken Advance, which is one of the few 3D games for the Game Boy Advance. I swear there's 5. And that's one of them. Right over here, we have some of the more desirable ones, like Dark Arena, the classic NES series of Excite Bike, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, Final Fight 2, Golden Sun.
I think the Tactics for the Game Boy Advance was better than the Tactics for
really?
PlayStation. Yeah.
Now this is the one I haven't played.
They introduced a couple different dynamics. So there's judges and stuff. So in some rounds they're you're banned from using magic spells. You can only use physical attacks and stuff like that.
Okay.
They introduced just a couple different dynamics to the play field that vary it up just a little bit more. That give that replayability that just makes it an absolute blast.
Nice. We also got Grand Theft Auto, Kingdom Hearts, Chain of Memories, Mario Luigi Superstar Saga, one of the cooler RPGs on the system. Pokemon Fire Red, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Sonic Advance, Mario Advance 4, which is just Super Mario 3 for the original Nintendo, and then Yoshi Topsy Turvy, which uses gyroscope in it.
Yeah, you have to actually
roll
shake
around.
your Game Boy Advance to make Yoshi's egg move around the mazes.
And one of the things that I'm sure a lot of people are concerned about is authenticity. We do check every single one of these cartridges. It's especially an issue with Game Boy Advance games. It seems these days that Game Boy Advance games are fraudulent. We check every single one of them to make sure they are legitimate games. We do not sell any fakes. We don't sell any reproductions. We don't even sell translations.
Yeah.
So you will not find any games that are not officially licensed here. Oh, here's a good one for the DS. We're moving on to DS now, guys, and Asphalt 3D or Asphalt GT, excuse me, is one of the few really standout 3D titles for the Game Boy. Or oh my gosh, I can't talk straight.
The DS.
The DS.
It's getting
Thank
late.
you. Thank
It's
you.
fine.
Please. I'm gonna grab a drink really quick.
Yeah,
so we can,
absolutely.
take over here on the DS. Hopefully, you have a lot of experience with the DS as I do.
I was one of those people that, like, this was the first system that I got for like money off because they messed up the pricing online, and then they did the price match thing to Target in the store.
Well, there
Sherlock Holmes.
Elite Beat Agents.
People
That
had a
is-
lot of fun with that game. I remember that. One of the first, stylus systems, so a lot of the games, required tapping and whatnot. You got some Lego Lord of the Rings, some Jake the Hunter, Memories of the Past. I have no idea what that game is. Gigapix. All right, that sounds kind of weird. The complete Lego Star Wars. That's not bad for a DS game. DS has a lot of power in that flash memory.
You'd be surprised how well the Lego Star Wars
March
games
of the
work
Penguins.
in comparison
Everybody
to the
loves playing a
originals.
documentary game.
The Lego Star Wars games play just like they do on PS2, but on your DS, it's pretty great.
Touchmaster. That's
here
the
we
game
go.
for leads to going to jail. Trauma Center. Yeah,
Now, this
that-
one's amazing. It's
Very,
it's
very
a
classic
surgery
game.
simulator, but it's insanely wacky. Like the first level starts out semi-normal. You're doing kind of a simulated surgery with your touchpad there, and then it gets up to 11 almost instantly as you're doing surgery on a plane with turbulence.
Oh, okay. Oh, we've got the Mega Man Legacy Collection for the DS as well, so you can play your
Let's
Mega Man on the
start
go.
That end
Oh, okay,
over
yeah.
there really quick. The beginning of the alphabet. We got Contra 4, Drawn to Life, Fossil Fighters, Harvest Moon DS.
Harvest Moon, a great one to have on the go. Just turn it on.
What is
Work
that
on your garden.
Inuyasha game there?
Inuyasha, Secret of the Divine Jewel.
Mario vs. Donkey Kong, 2, and Mario Luigi Partners in Time. Awesome RPG continuation. Monster Rancher DS. Oh, that one's pretty.
Oh
uncommon.
yeah, that's the Monster Rancher games I remember being very fun to grind away on.
What's this one all the way in the back? I couldn't see it for a second, but this one looks like it is Mega Man Star Force Dragon.
Oh, all right.
There were a lot of Mega Man spin-off games on the DS, and quite a few of them are uncommon, especially that one.
Thor, the mighty Thor on the DS.
Yeah, over here we have a couple 3DS games. We have quite a few more over here, complete in box, but just a couple
Wreck-It
loose
Ralph.
cartridge ones here. Let's cover some of the complete in box Nintendo DS and 3DS titles.
Of course, you got your Great Hannah Montana.
Wait, start with the better ones.
Of course,
Adventure
yeah.
Time. Hey, Ice King, why'd you steal our garbage? A great little, quick playthrough game. I swear the game's 5 hours long, but every minute of it is a lot of fun. Animal Crossing. Now, that game is 3,000 hours.
Yeah.
And quite a bit of it is very enjoyable as well. Here we have a very unique title, skipping ahead a little bit, but Electroplankton.
Oh, that looks fun.
That was one that you can only obtain by getting through Club Nintendo.
Ah.
But it's like a music, kind of chill music creation game. I also skipped ahead here. We have Diddy Kong Racing DS and Dragon Quest Monsters. Sealed, awesome titles.
Got some Biggest Loser for you, once again, trying to lose some weight in the new year.
Yes.
Got you covered. Your Biggest Loser game. Wreck 'em all. A Christmas Carol. It was just Christmas. You know, you can get that for next year.
Cooking Mama.
Great game to play on the DS. Crosswords?
Crosswords DS, very standard good one. Death Jr. and the Science Fair of Doom. Right here, Final Fantasy IV Heroes of Light. We have it used and brand new sealed. Chocobo Tales, Echoes of Time, Ring of Fate. Oh, here's a good one. This is a very uncommon one. This used to be kind of the semi-holy grail of the DS at one point, but it's Flower, Sun, and Rain. It's a murder mystery, very, very weird game. Give it a shot.
They gave it the most exciting title I've ever heard.
We got John Deere Harvest in the Heartland, and a little more well-known, its predecessor, Harvest Moon DS.
Yeah, that's a little bit better then.
Hotel Dusk, another good one.
Iron Man, put out by Sega.
A brand new sealed copy of Jonas Brothers.
How are these games still here? I can't believe people don't see these and they're like, oh my god.
This Lego Battles game plays a lot like, it's like an RTS.
Oh, interesting.
It's actually like a lot of fun, yeah. Mario Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, another RPG for the DS. And Mario Party DS, my favorite version of Mario Party. Maybe the exception would be the Switch version that's recently come out. I like that a lot.
Fun fact, I found a copy of Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story on the street in New York City once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the full game, like in the case, sealed.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
And I think the award for the strangest cover of all tonight goes to Pets Hamsters Superstars with the cool hamster and the sunglasses, the parachuting hamster, and the...
If we would have bought this at Toys R Us, we would have got the sweet hamster stylist, too.
Dang.
Man, pets. Like, who greenlights these things?
Here we go. Ridge Racer DS is a lot of fun as well, but Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey stands out to me as well.
Well, you would look terrified too if you were forced to perform on a rubber ball. So,
Space Bust-A-Move, that one's pretty cool. I love the Super Scribblenauts. Scribblenauts was great, but Super Scribblenauts really took it up a notch by adding adjectives.
By adding super.
So in Scribblenauts, you can write anything you want into your game to help you kind of solve a puzzle. So, for example, you could write jetpack and fly around, or
cool.
Whatever. So in this one, you have a magical notebook where you can also write adjectives. So you can write like giant Tyrannosaurus that's mad. You know, you could add all sorts of extra bits to it. So that was a great one. Down here, World Ends With You, total classic title, recently remade onto the Switch. However, I have heard that it loses a little bit of its magic not having the dual screen functionality. On this game, you actually fight with both screens at the exact same time.
Ooh,
it's very,
that sounds fun.
Very cool. Yoshi Touch and Go, and then finally Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship 2008. I've heard that these continue exactly what you were saying on the Advance. Great games. I hear they continue onto the DS.
Ooh, Luigi's Mansion. There's a good one.
Yeah, remake of the GameCube version. Bust-A-Move Universe, River City Ransom, Tokyo Rumble.
Always great side-scrolling beat-em-ups. Always good for wasting a couple hours on. Ooh, the Green Lantern. Whoa, cute Ryan Reynolds, or like Pixar Ryan Reynolds, apparently.
Right. Link Between Worlds is so great.
Yeah, Four Swords, also great. Or Triforce Hero, sorry, Four Swords is the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, this one is a lot of fun if you can get a couple friends to play with you. I didn't have a great time with it by myself, but with a couple people, it really steps it up, and it's a ton of fun. Cool, awesome. So let's just check in over here. If you could take over and show off this case here, we were gonna offer also our Monster Hunter blind boxes. I don't know how familiar you are with the Monster Hunter series, but basically the way these blind boxes work is that you purchase one of the blind boxes and you get one of 6 different monsters that you see on the cover. So if you could kind of go through each one and kind of show them off a little bit. I don't know if you're super familiar with them. It's funny, they've been so popular.
Yeah.
that a lot of people that play like D&D or tabletop games will actually buy these
Use
just to
them.
be like strange
yeah.
monsters, you know?
Because this is what
just,
they look like out of the box.
Yeah,
And
highly detailed, great looking figures. If you could just cover some of these and then some of the cool things down here at the bottom, I will be right back.
Yep, no worries. So yeah, we've got these different we've got Volume 9, we've got Volume 8, and then we've got the best of 4, 5, and 6 here. So these, you will get one of 6 of these. We have no idea which one. It's random, so it's kooky and wacky and whatnot. So they are $15 a piece. So we've got the various different ones. Oh, and then we've got a couple more over here. Oh yeah, we've got Plus as well from Volume 11. So, ooh, the sweet Dark Souls Special Edition and the Collector's Edition of Grand Theft Auto 5 with the blacklight map as well, which is a very cool feature of these special editions. Then we've got, ooh, the voice with the microphone and a tome back here. I'm not even sure what game this is. What game is this? Fable 3. Oh, very nice. So, what does that look like inside? Wow, fancy. It's a pretty nice set. Endless Ocean, I remember that being a pretty fun game. As far as just chilling around the ocean. We've got Complete with Disney Trading Pin. Oh my god, for you pin collectors out there. It's probably worth it alone, right? To try to figure out what's going on. Oh, here we go. I think this actually has... I'm not sure, based on this box, but I think they have the dance pad with it here. Killer is Dead. I don't know why this needs to be in a glass case, but sure. We got American Idol Karaoke Revolution. And then The Last Guardian sealed.
Brand new sealed, complete box. This comes with an enormous
statue,
figure.
yeah, of
there you are.
Of your sad dog animal. And then, so, you know, you might not want BioShock 2, the special edition, for BioShock 2, but what this special edition does come with is actually a vinyl record of the soundtrack to not the second game, but the first game. Which I honestly, it's something that I've wanted to pick up because I just love vinyl, to be honest with you. So,
well, here is your chance, right here, right now.
Yeah, the original BioShock score. You know, I might be a little bit of a fan of the series. You know,
yeah.
So, yeah, the artwork is absolutely great on it.
One thing I'd like to point out also is you can feel free to add this to any order. We have these random Pokemon up here. You might see a lot of Pokemon up here available, but we also have a special offer. You can pick anyone you like here for $4, or pick the random option. If you want any kind of Pokemon here you see here, it's only $1. Just tell one of our associates at DSKoopa checkout that you would like X number of random Pokemon. They're only $1 each, and you will get a Gachapon. So that will simulate kind of the experience of being here in the store and having at our Gachapon machines that we have all the way up here at the very front of the store, where it's only $1 and you get a random Pokemon out of the machine. It is a ton of fun. So again, just before we kind of close out tonight, I'd like to recover this because we did start here at the very beginning of the stream. So I'd like to show off.
It's been cleared out a little bit since the first time we've looked at the case.
Yeah, but if anyone's still interested, we have plenty of these plushies still available. Here we are with Mario, Luigi, Wario, Peach, Yoshi, all of the Mario crew, and again, as you said before, Piranha Plant.
Yeah, the Piranha Plant.
There you go.
Get on the hype train before he becomes, you know, your top tier Smash Brothers character.
Piplup, Raichu, Cleffa. Oh my God, Cleffa left all alone. So sad.
So sad.
Wobbuffet, Clefairy. We got one Magikarp left, apparently.
Magikarps, yeah.
Pachirisu, Mudkip, Totodile. We got all the Gen 2 starters right here. And again, I think Cyndaquil is by far the best with this.
With his furry his fire tail.
Yeah, he looks awesome. I love Slowpoke too, personally. And then just the detail on the Lapras just stands out so much to me. Over here we got Alolan Raichu and regular Raichu, the extra large sizes. Although they are super big, they're not a lot more than the normal size plushies. They're 25 instead of, say, 20. Again, most of these are between $18 and $22. Togepi. Oh, one scary looking Mimikyu hiding in the back there.
Being in the back, hanging out.
And then Dragonite. And if you want maybe an extra large size Mimikyu, we have that as well. These ones, interestingly enough, are very limited. This Mimikyu here is from a series of Crane games that came out in Japan. So they come out very, very limited numbers, go out to arcades or retail stores like us, and then that's it. They cut them off right after that.
Oh, wow.
Same goes with these Alolan Vulpix and Vulpix matching plushies. You can put them right next to each other. They look adorable like that. Again, those are all $25 each. And my favorite starter, I think, of all time now, Rowlet over here. I'm a big fan of the bird Pokemon. So he's just adorable.
People are asking about the rare case.
Holy crap, I almost did not cover the rare case. If you could please be so kind as to hold this, I will be right back with the keys. This is all under tight lock and key.
Yes. I'm not. We'll go back over some, some Nintendo games while we're waiting for him. So, breakthrough.
Alrighty, welcome to the rare case. Again, we've curated just for you guys, but we have some really unique titles like Thunder Force 3, New Zealand Story. These are all Japan import games, so the Mega Drive. They are semi-compatible with Sega Genesis consoles if you have one of the kind of Retron or that one's missing the manual. That's a deal breaker for me personally. But, the game itself carries so much weight. It's awesome. We got Dynamite Cop.
A Super Sentai of some sort.
Yeah. Like. So this one's called Soul Brain in English. Here it is. As mentioned earlier, we have Xenosaga Episode 3 with the manual and both discs, of course. Syndicate there on the Super Nintendo. Ys 1 and 2 Chronicles. Trails of Cold Steel, brand new and sealed for the PlayStation 3. What does this all include? It's very thick. What's going on here? Lionheart Edition contains exclusive color art book, some kind of pin, collector's case for storing the game, and the sequel. Oh, I love that! When a game comes with a collector's case to carry also the sequel, it works so great. One of the Shin Megami Tensei games did that. This is a man's game right here. So this
the disc is very nice.
Yes, it's plain. It's very plain, but this is a Fantastic Night Dream Cotton. This is the most hardcore of hardcore shoot-'em-ups.
Oh, all right.
For the original PlayStation. This is a Japanese one, of course. So you might find it a little hard to play, but that is just
what is this
insanity level.
Vampires.
Oh yeah, go ahead and pull it out. Let's take a look at it.
Sure, yeah. I've never even seen this.
Real quick, this one is Fungoku Ninden.
Countdown Vampires.
Countdown Vampires for the PlayStation 1.
From Bandai.
We also have here a not-for-resale version of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This one is quite a bit beat up, so we actually have it priced at about half the price of a normal going rate for a not-for-resale version of Ocarina of Time. Again, Ocarina of Time itself not quite up at this price point, but the not-for-resale version does command a higher price. It's one of the versions that was perhaps carried in a kiosk in, say, Toys R Us, Fred Meyer, one of those kind of stores.
Gotcha.
A couple PC Engine
Fire
games
Emblem,
here.
even without the case, warrants $50 for the Wii.
It sure does. It's those are tough to keep in stock. Chase HQ, Dragon's Curse, and Ghost Manor. We also got an Action Replay. Those are great for kind of hacking Pokemon back in the old Game Boy Advance games.
Ah, gotcha.
Purirula, we have Nurse Love Addiction, which is a lesbian nurse dating sim.
All right.
And this is also one of the limited run titles, so there are not that many of these floating out there. Which one is this here? This one is Triggerheart Excelia.
Oh, so that's weird because that's a Dreamcast. Did all Dreamcast versions, Japanese games come in the DVD cases?
Not. This is kind of one of the more special ones.
That's super weird.
Then also Supremacy MMA Unrestricted.
one of those strange, like slightly more uncommon Vita games.
More Kingdom Hearts action for you. Dream Drop Distances.
I love this one here, and this one came with a couple extra cool bonuses. Right here in the case, we have a couple like interesting art prints, your own 3DS case. This is back when there was just the original small style 3DS. You got the game and some cards and extra art to go along with it.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of the ultimate Kingdom Hearts collector's version. Also, not to be passed over, this guy here, Magician's Quest Mysterious Times. Very, very uncommon game for the Nintendo DS. Down here we got Gunhound EX for the PSP. This one is region-free. Play in any region. You also get the soundtrack with it as well. And which one is this again? This is Asterisk Festa. Hoka Kenran LE. A lot of these, there's just so many like kind of anime-style games for the Vita and the PSP that's hard to keep track of, but I know there's that special person out there who just needs this game, has been looking for it. Here's one that I do know about, however, Princess Crown. This one is amazing. Yeah, kind of side-scroller action beat-em-up game style. It's really awesome. Right over here
we go.
Persona 5, the complete edition. The only thing this is missing is the outer case. And this is actually, I'm sorry, this was supposed to be fixed today. Instead of $110, it's actually $100, and it comes with the game in a steelbook, a sealed soundtrack. You get this cute little Morgana plushie. You'll discover her in the game. You also get the art book, and you get this bag from the school. The school in the game that you'll find out.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one of the most stylish, coolest games on the PS4 right now.
Yeah, everybody loves those games.
I don't even like JRPGs, but I dig Persona 5. It's really cool. And then finally, here at the very end, we got Witch in the 100 Night Revival Edition, which includes this cute little figure here. Yeah.
Cool. That's it for the rare case.
Yes, sir. Oh.
The first ever.
The first
on the Home Shopping Network.
Cool, guys. So the last section I want to show you is all the way up here at the very, very front of the store. We carry limited run titles. Literally every single limited run game that comes out, we will stock it in our store, and usually we only have it in store. However, during the Twitch Shopping Network, we want to bring you the exact experience of coming into one of our stores and being able to purchase whatever you want. So I'm going to open this up to you right now. We have quite a few PlayStation 4 limited run titles. Late Shift, Bastion, that's a must-have. I'm sure you've played Bastion, right? Mm-hmm. Amazing title. Phantom Breaker Overdrive, Gunhouse, Thumper, Cosmic Star Heroine, Mucinix? Arrow, just like Mucinix, a good rhythm game for the PlayStation 4. Magica 2, Iron Cryptical, Escapegoat 2, and then Exile's End. Those are all up for grabs here, all limited run titles, usually not available through our store online, except for you could probably find these games maybe on eBay at an inflated price, but you can get them right here at normal retail prices. Yeah. And again, if you are subscribed to the DSKoopa channel, you will get free shipping on these as well. So the price you see is the price you pay. It's perfect. Over here we have quite a few Switch games, and a lot of these are just the standard kind of retail games, you know, like Kirby Star Allies, Xenoblade Chronicles, etc. Great games, but you will notice a couple standouts here in the back. We do have Fury, Kingdom New Lands, and Thumper. All three of those are exclusive to this store. You won't really find those anywhere else. They're limited run titles. These are games that were once digital only, made physical in a very, very small print run. And yeah, you will find Thumper, Kingdom New Lands, and Fury. Awesome Switch titles. There's about 3,000 of each of these out there in the world, and that's it. So, you know, in the future, say Thumper isn't being distributed anywhere online. This may, at one point in the future, be the only way to play it.
It's the only way to play it.
All right, guys, I think we have sufficiently covered the store tonight. Oh my God! Almost, except for one
Six
last section.
accessory
Holy crap!
walls.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
there we
Nathan,
go.
for pointing this out to me. I completely missed our accessory wall here. We have basically anything you can need. Again, feel free to just plain ask. I know this wall can be a little bit overwhelming to completely absorb all at once, but if you just ask DSKoopa checkout for a specific accessory for a system, they'll be able to help you out. The one thing that I think does stand out is our super insanely high quality first party GameCube controllers. That guy's responsible for a lot of them. He has repaired quite a few of them. Some common issues are like the analog stick, right?
Oh yeah, the analog stick gets super loose. Some of them just wobble on their own. But I take care of that. They get gunky. There's stuff preventing the buttons from pushing right, and I fix all of that.
That's great. And quite a few people who are regulars to the stream have seen me actually fix some of these on stream and can kind of verify that we do take care of our controllers here. I know GameCube controllers in particular are a point of, I don't know, very
popular
particular.
right now again.
Very particular, yeah. We also have Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS4 and PS3 controllers, just a couple PS2 controllers. These things are very particular as well. PS2 memory cards, power cables, AV cables, etc. Everything you could ever possibly imagine, we have it as an accessory. There's very few items you will find here that we don't have in stock for as far as video game accessories go.
We also need to go through the Wii games really quick. And the
Oh my
GameCube
gosh,
games.
you're right. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I thought I had covered everything.
No, we still got one more section, or technically two more sections to go.
All right, let's start with Wii U up here. I know someone was asking me about that earlier. That was a close one. Thank you for saving
Yeah,
me.
no worries.
Assassin's Creed 3, Amazing Spider-Man, Arkham City, etc. Bayonetta 2, this does come with Bayonetta 1 as well for $25. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, one of my favorites on the Wii U, now on the Switch. Game & Wario, though, just on the Wii U, and it's an amazing party game.
Those are always fun. All the Wario games that are like the touchscreen ones are very, very fun games. So.
Mm-hmm. Nintendo Land, that's one you will never see on the Switch because it simply wouldn't function. Smash Bros. For Wii U, you won't see on the Switch because it's for Wii U.
No.
Wonderful 101 too. That's a cool. Hideki Kamiya made that. The guy who made Beautiful Joe and Resident Evil. Great game. We'd have just a couple Switch games. The used Switch games never stick around very long here, so if you're interested in any of those, pick them up while you can. Over here we got the Wii games, used Wii complete in box games over here. Are you smarter than a 5th grader? Prove it by buying this game.
Jeff Foxworthy loved. Yeah, so everyone was so excited. Steven Spielberg was making a video game. What was it gonna be? What was it gonna be? Boom blocks. Thanks.
You would think some kind of cinematic event, but
right? No.
Okay.
Boom blocks.
Oh, that being said, I did hear Boom Blocks is fun.
Tomb Raider Anniversary Edition.
There we go. Kirby's Return to Dreamland, amazing. Kirby's Epic Yarn, totally for babies, but quite enjoyable. But Kirby's Return to Dreamland, that is the kind of standard Kirby game that I think everyone's looking for. Twilight Princess there.
Got Ultimate Alliance once again. Ooh, M&M's kart racing.
Believe it or not, I hear it's all right. I hear it's quite decent. It's no Mario Kart, but
it's got Billy West as the voice of the red M&M, like
okay,
like in real life.
New Super Mario Bros. Wii.
Very fun games. Nitro Bike.
Rayman Origins. I really love the Rayman games, like the newer ones. They're so the whole game flows with the soundtrack so well.
Very good platforming games. Very, very good, just kind of classic 2D platforming.
Absolutely.
Super Mario Galaxy cannot go wrong with that game on the Wii.
Galaxy 2 or Brawl, which I suppose you can go wrong with, but I had enough fun with Brawl.
Brawl is fun,
the hated guy.
And if you can still get the Project M modifications for it,
oh, there you go.
you can do some very fun stuff with it.
Oh, and then finally, let's just close it out with a strong one. Zuzu Pets, featuring the Wild Bunch. Everyone knows the Wild Bunch.
At least the hamsters don't look as sad as the The Pets game.
Then we have just a few GameCube games. You know, GameCube, as a retro game store owner, GameCube has just been a total headache for us, you know. It's been so popular, it's insanely difficult to keep up with. You know, GameCube didn't sell so well at the time. It was the time of the PS2 ruling the world. But by far, still it has not matched that. And by an effect, the GameCube did suffer. So the games are very hard to stock, but it is the most in-demand console right now. So what we have is what we have at the moment. Some of the good standout ones are Sonic Adventure DX, Sonic Heroes, Metroid Prime, Naruto, Namco Museum, Resident Evil, and Resident Evil Zero. And Mario Dance Mix. If you can find yourself one of the GameCube-compatible dance pads, that's great. Oh, and then finally, why don't we take a look at these books? I just completely forgot the books as well. Here's a cool one. Yeah. Pokemon Special Edition Yellow, Red, and Blue Guide. This one's pretty great.
The Bloodborne. I have that. I'm a huge Bloodborne fan.
Oh, yeah.
That strategy guide is awesome for multiple reasons. There's the different guides for walking through the basic game. Then there's the going through for the getting all the NPCs and stuff like that. Very, very good book.
I love looking at some of these old magazines here and just like, I'm a huge fan of Tony Hawk. I love reading what people were talking about the games at the time and like just the different time frame and the different mentality that they talked about video games was so interesting to go back to and read about.
Well, and like the fervor in which they, talk about how excited they are about like the graphics of like a 64. Like, these graphics are better than anything I've ever seen in my entire life. Oh, like, it's and now looking back, it's laughable. And you also get to like read about the games that were. Never came out. Like they will have like little articles about games that ended up not coming out.
So these books here are called a series called Boss Fight books. So these are books where they took one author who knew more about the games than I'd say anybody else possibly could. For example, Spelunky here by Derek Yu was actually written by the single-handed guy who programmed the entire game. And these are just like kind of philosophy behind the game, about the game history, interviews with the creators, and things like that. It's especially interesting when you get into games like Katamari Damacy, excuse me.
Katamari Damacy.
Like one of my favorite series of all time. And you just get to read about like the original creator and how much of a weirdo he was, and like you would never know that kind of thing. Well, I suppose you could infer that thing by playing the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I would imagine, with their rainbow making stars out of junk,
Yeah, but that being said, you really get like the full story by breaking into one of these boss fight books, and they're just awesome. Anyway, guys. I think we have sufficiently covered every section now.
Yeah, I think that'll do it.
Let me just go ahead and, if you can chat with people for just 1 second, remind them about the shipping and the blah, blah, blah.
So once again, we are here at Pink Gorilla, and anything that you did see here tonight, you can absolutely buy. DSKoopa Checkout is the person to whisper if you like anything. Don't worry if we don't get back to you right away. Even after the stream ends, we will be filling orders throughout the night. So we will need your email address so that we can send you that invoice. And if you get an invoice, that means, hey, you're getting those games. But say you bought some games and you don't want to pay for shipping, if you subscribe to the channel, you get free shipping if you live in the United States.
Cool. So we're going to go ahead and bring everybody out right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Believe it or not, it's not just the two of us. There is a team of people here hanging out and helping.
That have been gathering up your orders, chatting with you tonight. Say hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging out tonight, and thanks for joining us for another Twitch Shopping Network brought to you by Pink Gorilla Games. Anyone want to say anything?
Thank you for your patience.
Usual.
Sorry.
We'll be sure to be getting all the orders out as soon as possible. We'll be sure to be getting at you. Just make sure we have your email address. That is the #1 most important part. If we don't have that, it can be a little tough to just figure out all the orders. So everybody, have a good night. We will see you later. And thanks for joining us again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later. Now we're just going to awkwardly wave until the raid thing finally happens. Yeah, it's just a couple more seconds, we swear to God. Just keep waving. Just keep waving. We can almost click the button, yeah. Go say hi to whoever. See ya.
Who'd you... Raid. Rando.
Hold on a sec.
Wait, are we still on the air?
Yeah. Just
Oh. Even more awkward than expected.
Yeah, right. We tried